right in your line of sight, though, isn't it?
All right. I was reading this one more article I saw just pop. Let's see. Irmo High School football team with 13-1 last season. South Florida's 28-21 lower state. We know that. Three starters back on offense and defense. Obviously, Brand, historic season. I don't think there's anything really here. Virginia Tech, we know that.
Tell me, I want to ask you a little bit about Murph.
I think it's got him listed here, but there's not really anything here beyond that.
What were your overall thoughts on him, seeing him in the playoff games?
Very smooth receiver, very fluid and stuff, and go up and get the ball. And, of course, he's caught 88 passes.
Yeah.
Seems to look for him in the big moments. The other guys are good, too. Watch him. He's kind of an unselfish receiver that blocks too. So I just think
you impressed with him.
Yeah, I think he's a real deal.
Okay.
What did you think of Northwestern's receiving core when you saw them in practice?
Well, I didn't know which one. Do they have a kid that's coming to South Carolina? Is that Rock Hill kid?
Rock Hill kid.
Oh, Rock. Yeah, that's what I thought. But John Day thought it was Caldwell from Northwestern. And I said, well, Coach, they've got 4 guys that I thought were equally impressive. I said, I wasn't sure. 2 caught in the 60s and 2 in the 30s. I said, if he's coming to South Carolina, he didn't jump as much as I thought.
Right.
And I said, could it possibly be Rock Hill in the center?
Couple of high-flying offenses to close out our championship weekend in the Palmetto State. Northwestern and Irmo for the 5A Division II crown. Next. Couple of South Carolina powers as the Trojans and the Jackets collide. Well, it's already been a thrilling weekend. This really, in many ways, the cherry on top of things as Northwestern and Irmo get set to do battle. With that, we welcome you into our continued coverage. Our broadcast presented by A&I Fire and Water Restoration, alongside the former Gamecock wide receiver and legendary Hall of Fame Chapin coach Eddie Muldrow. Jason Patterson here with you. And, Coach, first things first, a championship environment kind of coming to a close here. This is really what it's all about in this sport.
It sure is, and both teams have worked hard year-round to get here. They both deserve to be here. They were seeded number 1. And that's the way it should be. The top seeds should make their way through the playoffs.
Well, they did make their way here because of outstanding playmakers. The 2 quarterbacks in this one are something to behold. Let's go ahead and dive in on our players to rely on. We begin with the Northwestern quarterback, Finley Polk.
Finley Polk is something special, too. You can see he's 42 touchdowns with only 6 interceptions. Very impressive. He knows where to place the ball. He'll get it to the right people at the right time.
On the other side, we have the head coach's son and one of the top prospects in the state as well. A.J. Brand, going to be fun for fans to watch.
He is truly an exciting player, equally talented throwing the ball and running, a true dual threat quarterback who can hurt you. He averages close to 11 yards a carry, so he's a threat every time he touches. So watch for a lot of explosive plays from him.
Both these teams come in, both these communities drive here with full expectation that they're going to walk away with the crown. If that's going to be true for Northwestern, what has to happen, Coach?
Northwestern wanted to play the best team. Their coach told them at practice, we don't want to play a 8-5 or 9-5 team that snuck in. We wanted to see if we're the best to play the best. And also they felt like they needed to win the kicking game. That could be a big factor in the game. They wanted to make sure they took care of that.
If Irmo is to be successful, what are your Ingles' keys to the game?
Irmo said, let's keep doing what got us here. We don't want to change anything, but we don't want to get in a scoring battle with Northwestern because we feel like it could be high scoring. We want to control the flow of things, make sure we eat up some clock, and make sure it's not a 49-48 game.
Those are the keys to the game on this Saturday night. They stand as our Ingles food for thought. Again, two communities familiar with championship glory. There's only room for one to take home the crown in Division II of the 5A classification. Northwestern and Irmo doing battle on the other side of the break.
When I was growing up, I was taught, if you make a promise, you keep it. And for 45 years, that's what we've been doing at A&I Fire and Water Restoration. From Wilmington to Florence, from Myrtle Beach to Charleston. When disaster has struck, we've made promises to tens of thousands of families to turn their houses to homes again. We take pride in keeping our promises. It's what we do. It's who we are.
A&I Fire and Water Restoration.
I'm Dr. Timothy Gregory with Coastal Wound Care. Are you living with a diabetic or chronic wound? A wound that won't heal can lead to serious problems, even amputation. At Coastal Wound Care, we provide the most up-to-date treatments, including negative pressure, compression therapies, and skin substitutes. As a physician-run private practice, we prioritize your needs, providing the time and attention you deserve. Our dedicated team is here for you. We offer next-day appointments, making your recovery as seamless as possible. Call Coastal Wound Care now and start healing.
Thank you so much
for putting your faith in us.
We are here because of you.
It really means a lot that you've trusted us over the years.
And we'll be here for you.
I've got to meet good, hardworking people that have become my clients, my friends.
Thank you to everyone that's let us help them and their families.
Thank you, Spartanburg. Thank you, Columbia.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you, Rock Hill.
Healthy on the outside doesn't mean much if vaping has weakened you from the inside, because the chemicals in vapes don't just leave you short of breath. They damage your lungs on a cellular level, leaving even the fittest among us weak and vulnerable to viruses. So what starts as a vapor's cough can easily turn into pneumonia or something worse. Is vaping sabotaging you? Get the facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
Teams getting set to take the field at the South Carolina State Championship game. Five-time champ Northwestern on one side. We got the Gatorade Player of the Year and a Virginia Tech commit on the other. Irmo, Northwestern, moments away. For a little more on this matchup, let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team. Take it away, Jack.
So guys, here's the deal. Championship weekend at our finale. I'm not saying we saved our best for last, but we have had this matchup highlighted since early July. These two teams expecting to be here. All of Orangeburg, it feels like, if they're not at the Applebee's down the street where this place is buzzing, they're here at Oliver C. Dawson Stadium. For a coach and at Northwestern, Coach Wofford, for those guys, this is a big-time matchup. He told me right before the game, he goes, today's about being genuine, about being authentic to who we are and how we got here. And for Irmo, for Coach Brand, getting the opportunity to coach his son one final time, he goes emotional, yes. But if we don't walk away with a W, then yeah, maybe there might be a little bit of a tainted asterisk to what could be an incredible 3-year career of coaching his son at the quarterback position. What a magical opportunity for father and son to go home champions after tonight. We'll send it back upstairs to you guys, because I'm ready to run through a wall down here. Woo!
Yeah, Jack, you think about lifetime memories, family-wise, what this means. It's something every participant will hang on to. And for generations to come, they'll talk about, they still discuss that championship in 1980 that Irmo secured. I mentioned Northwestern, 89, 93, 2010, 13, and 15 state champions. There is nothing like a state championship environment.
It's truly a great experience for all the players here and also the student body, the community. The parents are just as excited as the players to be here.
And we are ready to get rolling. This one, with a little bit more of a gap between these two games today, has built the anticipation. Everybody discussing what is the 5A Division II game going to give us here in Orangeburg. Time to find out. It begins with the Low Country Crawl Spaces kickoff. We are underway. Northwestern booting it to Irmo. First touch of the football going to belong to the Jackets. And with this going through the end zone, it will be following a touchback. Somewhat fitting that you get to see A.J. Brand Aaron Brand Jr., the Gatorade Player of the Year in South Carolina, who is headed to the Commonwealth. He's going to be a Virginia Tech Hokie in his future. How about this image, Coach? Father and son together in the final moments before they compete for a state championship.
Pretty special, and the dad was certainly involved with the emotions of this. You could tell in our pregame talk that he wants it to be special for his son as well tonight.
No doubt about it. He said it has been the joy of his life just to watch and be a part of this journey, and then also hands-on experience as the head coach of this football team. Nothing quite like it. Man in motion for Irmo. First play from scrimmage. Got to be a little toss out near side. That is caught. The first connection to Donovan Murph. Well, we'll highlight him as we look at the Irmo starting lineup because I know you've been very impressed with Murph.
He's caught 88 passes this year and 10 touchdowns, so he's definitely a threat every time he touches the ball, and they try to get the ball to him a lot.
There's the surrounding cast for those two. The Stewart Law Office's starting lineup for Irmo. A.J. Brand, we told you, the Lower State Offensive Player of the Year, a Shrine Bowler, as well as those other things we had already documented, and the accolades go on and on. A part of it, the surrounding cast, guys like Murph, Miller, Harrington, Albritton, so many weapons. Ball on the turf here, though. Northwestern with a chance for a big-time early takeaway. They have it. Trojans football inside the 25-yard line. Bouncing out of there is Andre Pickett celebrating the takeaway.
Turnovers can be a key in a big game, along with penalties. And then sometimes that kicking game ties in with that factor as well. But a big turnover early for the Northwestern defense.
So much talk about Finley Polk and this offense as you see them trotting onto the field. You thought Northwestern's defense may very well be the X factor. That one is punched out of there by Tamarian Watkins and gathered up by Andre Pickett. Northwestern quickly to work, and the first play from scrimmage is going to see it in the hands of Zymir Gordon-Miles. He's quite a compliment to this receiving corps. Let's look at the entire starting lineup offensively for Northwestern. Who else do you highlight, Coach?
He was certainly a runner to be reckoned with. He's close to 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns.
Gordon-Miles gets the first touch. Then Polk goes to the skies. Having to leap up there is Vance to bring this out of the air. And that limits it to just the yardage secured on the toss. Third down coming, and the Irmo defense trying to get this third down stop will line up as follows. How about that Irmo D?
Irmo defense has been a kind of bend and don't break all year. Their offense gets most of the recognition, but you wouldn't be here without a very good defense.
Those are our Stewart Law Office's starting lineups for tonight's 5A Division II championship game. A quick takeaway on the fumble and recovery forced by Northwestern. And the Trojans facing third down here. That's going to be caught. Dancing through traffic is Nichols. He's got a first down into the depths of the Doctor's Implants red zone. Here's a Will Lou Gray. First down, fresh set coming for Northwestern. This was well designed.
A quick little hitch route. They have 4 receivers that caught over 35 passes, so they're not scared to throw it just to one person. They'll spread it out on their receivers.
Vance already been in action. Nichols having already caught one. We've seen Gordon-Miles in the rushing game. Speaking of which, they fake to him here. It leaves a wide open to Darian Knox. And a Rush's touchdown is secured as Knox is the first to put it on the board for Northwestern.
He's been a factor this year as well. He's caught 7 touchdown passes along with his 37 catches this year. So they're not scared to throw it to different people. They don't have to count on a one third down receiver. They'll find a lot of different folks.
The start Northwestern was looking for. Northwestern made a trip here in 2022 to the state championship environment. They ran into a guy named Lenore Sellers, I believe, at that time.
And he turned out to be a pretty special player.
He ended up being quite a guy in college football this year at the University of South Carolina. So they came up short in that attempt. Been hungry to get back since, and you can tell a Northwestern team embracing the championship return. They start off the 24 title bout with a fumble forced and a touchdown secured for an early 7-0 lead.
There was a time when a person's word was enough. A time when a handshake meant something and integrity really mattered. For nearly 70 years, the values of Farm Bureau Insurance have been rooted in hard work, faith, and family. In that time, we've seen the world change in many ways. What hasn't wavered is Farm Bureau Insurance's commitment to protect our customers' way of life and serve the communities in which they live when they need us most. You deserve more. You deserve a promise.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
Shh, we're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
I can earn that solo!
You see my kid?
Yeah! 13-0, undefeated Northwestern team out to an early 7-0 advantage. The defense secures a takeaway, and the Trojans strike quickly. Already some highlights for the Coastal Wound Care halftime report. You'll meet a member of the South Carolina High School League staff. Learn a lot more about Irmo and Northwestern. All that and more, a part of the Coastal Wound Care halftime report. Pretty good crowd having made the trip down from Rock Hill, where no matter which team you support in a highly competitive city for football in South Carolina, they travel well and they expect championship football.
They certainly do. And both teams, I know Irmo was a little bit disappointed in their loss last year, but both teams expect to get here. They're really hard-working squads. The coaches expect them to play their best tonight.
I thought Paige Wofford's quote to us before the game was as good as any. We said, what does it mean to have brought this team back into a state championship environment? What did he say? It means I get to keep my job for another year.
One more year.
That's the expectation at Northwestern High School for sure. And with their tradition and history, you certainly understand. Low Country Crawl Space's kickoff is fielded back at the goal line. And with a foot in the end zone, that's going to mean it's a definite touchback as Irmo's offense will have it. What did you see on the first touch offensively for Irmo, Coach?
Well, they got the ball to two different receivers, and the quarterback lost the ball on a punch out.
And then
I feel like they can move the ball, but just had a turnover.
Then it created this opportunity, a 4-play, 18-yard drive capped with the 8-yard reception by Knox. That's your Palmetto Pride scoring summary on that Northwestern drive. But you said, talked about being yourself. It really comes back to that at this point.
It does. And Irmo, they won't jump the game plan. They feel like they can score and they can move the ball.
Very early in this one, and Irmo going to keep it on the ground. Had not yet been introduced to Amir White. He gets a glance, and let's take a look at the Northwestern D. This is the group that did the good work last time around, Coach.
They certainly did. Team defense. They got a couple people in the secondary that had 4 interceptions, but the people up front can make it happen for them.
Watkins on the bottom of your screen, and Pickett, who is on there as well, the two individuals that were heavily involved. Watkins punching the football out, Pickett falling on it, and that turnover translating to 7 Northwestern points. Ball on the 20. Second down coming after a very minimal gain. Now weaving through some traffic and finding his way up across the 42-yard line. Here is the initial snapshot of what the young brand brings to the table.
He's averaged over 11 yards a carry on 162 carries. So, he's going to carry it that 8 to 12 times a game. Expect him to be a factor in the running.
Appropriately named in brand. He's creating one to carry to Virginia Tech with him.
Certainly following his father's footsteps as a brand.
And it was a neat moment we shared with Aaron Brand on the South Carolina State logo that's right in the middle of your screen right before the game. We were talking to him. He became so emotional he couldn't even really say anything when he was trying to describe what this moment means to his family and to share this with his son. I think it was a window into just what the humility of the moment created for the entirety of the Brand family, and certainly for the head coach of this Irmo team. He was overtaken by emotion. He said, guys, I'm sorry. But then he said it's been one of the great thrills and one of the great joys of his life. It has to be incredibly special.
And at practice, he told me, my wife did a great job of raising him. I said I tried to help him a little bit on the field or something, but she did a great job of raising him. So he's really proud of his family.
That's always the right answer, right? When
you better
right down to it. Second down and 6 for A.J. Brand and company here. Irmo, short-lived first drive. He'll act as if he's going to toss this, tuck it himself, and Northwestern having to key on him will try to stop his momentum. But how about the push he received at the very end of that? Looks like it may have worked him across the sticks. That could very well be another Will Lou Gray first down, and it is.
He was trying to throw a quick out to Murph, and the coverage jumped it, and then he just turned it into a quarterback run. The thing about him running, he scored 25 touchdowns running the ball, so he's equally adept at scoring on the ground and on the air.
Yeah, if you missed his numbers at the start of the show, 171 completions, 237 attempts, 2,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, and the 6 interceptions for the Gatorade Player of the Year. Speaking of throwing the football, he goes up top here. It is going to follow with a flag as there was a major collision. You heard the hesitation in the voice there. It really was the result of, is there going to be laundry on the field when you consider the battle for the football that Murph was locked in.
Murph had beaten the defensive back and a little bit higher underthrown ball, which turned into a jump ball situation. The defensive back had a collision that caused a penalty.
Joshua Singleton, the individual on the scene for Northwestern, as you would expect. That is defensive pass interference. Gives us a chance while they move the chains to talk about Murph just a moment. What is it you think that makes him such a special target for this quarterback?
He's just a smooth athlete as far as running routes, catching the soft hand passes, and the quarterback trusts him too. And you can tell there's a great relationship there between quarterback wide receiver.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line for the Yellow Jackets. Rushing to the left side, and the Northwestern defense swarming to it. Will Massey, among others, who fills up your screen there on the scene to help make the stop on the carry of Jones Jr., one of the running backs in the stable. Boy, Massey's a good-looking player on defense.
Massey closed that gap in a hurry. It looked like the running back had a chance to break it outside, but he closed the gap and limited just a 1-yard gain.
2nd and 9. 7:22 ticking downward in the opening period of play in the highly anticipated 5A Division II championship game. Fittingly under the lights here at South Carolina State. Brand looked to cut inside, and a guy that perhaps sealed it up, Cam McFadden. He did not bite on any of the fakes, and McFadden was able to gather him up.
Again, a sprint out pass. Northwestern did a great job of containing the quarterback, forcing him back inside where he had help on defense.
Brings up a 3rd down and 10. Should get the vitals on Cam McFadden, a key part of the Northwestern defense. You know, Northwestern ended up winning a shootout in the Upper State Championship game with the Gaffney Indians. Many thought this one may be a shootout with all the playmakers on both sides as well. That to stay undefeated and earn the trip here. But they have controlled thus far the work of Brand on this sequence in their territory. And you can see the reaction. Plenty of emotion for Watkins and the Trojans as they stuff this and create a 4th down.
Irmo was trying to set up a screen to the right, but Northwestern jumped it in a hurry, and the quarterback had to turn it into basically a quarterback run. And the other defenders stayed at home and were able to contain him.
Yeah, Denaje McMullen filling up some space in the center that would allow for no running lanes. And then Tamarian Watkins, who you remember punched the football out on the first drive. He creates the 4th and behind the sticks here. Due to the location on the field, Brandon Company out there on 4th down. Shot at the end zone. Murph flags again. This time on 4th and 11, that's consequential.
Murph was running a skinny post, and I think the defensive back knew he was beat and grabbed him. And so they'll get an automatic first down here with the penalty.
Well, just when it looked like Northwestern may get off the field, the second of the interference penalties will change the course. Here's the call.
On the defense. Penalties 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, 4th down.
Well, it's going to be a 10-yard penalty here, Coach, and that means it's going to be 4th down and 1 after they add 10 yards to this, interestingly enough. But suffice it to say, Murph, having been targeted a couple of times and both times ending in pass interference calls, speaks to the respect Northwestern has for Murph.
Yeah, when you're going against somebody that's called 88 passes, you know they can look for him in big situations.
This is one of those big situations. 4th down and 1 from just outside the red zone. You thought on 4th and 1, it may be number 1. Carrying the football forward, A.J. Brand. We'll see where they spot this. He needed the 19-yard line in order to move the chains. Massey was the guy who got there to eventually clog it up, but this was just enough to move the chains.
Anytime you got somebody's averaging 11 yards a carry, you don't feel so bad about 4th and 1.
Yeah, no doubt whose hands the football was going to be hitting there.
But the running back is averaging over 8 per carry, so they've got 2 very, very strong runners in the backfield.
Doctors Implants Red Zone opportunity. First such for Irmo, empowering people through full mouth dental implants. That's Doctors Implants, sponsors of our Red Zone. Here's White. Got a seam. And another Will Lou Gray first down. This one inside the 10-yard line at the 7. I think you just mentioned how explosive the back can also be.
He is. He got a good block. The left guard was pulling. Created a hole for White. And he broke it off a nice first down.
You were impressed with Amir White's numbers overall.
Yes, he's averaging 8.3. He's only scored 7 touchdowns, so he may get one here.
In position at the 7-yard line, a 1st and goal scenario. Irmo looking to equalize after the turnover and the quick Northwestern touchdown to start the game, if you're just joining us. Got a man in motion coming near side. Brand rolls that way. Stretching it out across the pylon. Donovan Murph. The connection finally made, and it's for a Rush's TD.
You can expect that. Anybody that's done as well as he has 10 touchdown receptions for the year. But again, he just went in motion. They were playing man coverage, and he beat his defensive back to the point.
Another of the 4-star prospects going to be a part of the Under Armour game in January. And a great, you called him, I think, the real deal, were the words out of your mouth. And fans can see why, as Donovan Murph is on the receiving end of this toss. And, boy, he was just as impressive the way he stretched that out across the goal line, Coach.
He did. He knew where he was and knew how much he needed to get a score.
Extra point. True off the foot of Tucker Williams. Irmo showing its strength offensively. Going deep to Murph a couple of times. That kept the drive alive. He will close the deal on this toss from A.J. Brand.
Absolute Total Care. Total health care for you and your family. Total peace of mind and total assurance plan coverage. Totally affordable healthcare solutions for everyone. Absolute Total Care is totally South Carolina. Totally you.
Our health insurance is designed to improve the lives of individuals and families of South Carolina. At Absolute Total Care, we mean it when we say, one plan, always covered.
I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for all that you do officiating high school football.
What you do matters, and what you do is important for our student athletes.
Without you and what you do, it's just practice.
I know you've worked hard in your preparation this offseason, and now it's game time.
Go out there and call them like you see them.
Embrace the grind.
And the biggest thing of all is to have fun.
Please, stay safe, have a great season, and we'll all be watching.
Well, a look at Paige Wofford, the 6th season he has been at the helm of this Northwestern program. 57 wins in 6 years, brings his team in here unbeaten. And there's always conversation with the officials when you're in that coaching responsibility.
sometimes you want to make sure they see the little small things. That left tackle's been holding us the whole night. Why don't you take a look at it or something like that? Well, just to plant that seed in his ear.
Always looking for what might pay off later, right?
Right. Don't fuss at them, and don't let your players or assistant coaches talk to them. You talk to them as a head coach.
One of the great young coaches in the state of South Carolina. On the other side, we told you a great deal about his son, but there's the proud papa, the head coach of the Irmo Yellow Jackets. Also in his 6th season, coach, up over 100 wins in 12 years in his career overall, but 6 years there at Irmo. You could tell in the time we've spent with him this week, another of the great gentlemen in the sport.
Truly welcomed me to his practice, and he was very emotional talking about his son, realizing this was the last time they would be working and playing together.
Yeah, there were tears, and there was also plenty of pride you could see on his face when you talk in terms of that. Folks look at the one loss for Irmo. We haven't documented it yet. That was to a pretty good team that won a state championship yesterday.
I believe so. When you say, well, we lost to a state champion, but it wasn't in our division, you got to feel pretty good about your team.
Yeah, the only loss was to Dutch Fork, and it was a 24-14 contest with Dutch Fork, a game that Irmo was right there in. Folks in the Midlands certainly familiar with that moment from this 2024 season. After an Irmo touchdown drive, here comes Northwestern. The return is out across the 20 to the 24-yard line, and that is where the Trojans will take over. After this Irmo drive, time for our Palmetto Pride scoring summary. Very methodical, coach. Couple of flags extended it. In the end, Murph gets the job done on a 10-play, 80-yard march.
True, and also you can tell the respect Northwestern has for Murph, because with 2 interference, at one time he had him beat deep, and I think the defensive back realized the only way he could stop him is to save him with a penalty.
Yeah, made a great play down on the goal line. Northwestern to put it on the ground here. That's good for 7, or actually 2 or 3, I should say. Spinning and winding. He got that a little further behind the sticks than it originally appeared, but winding forward for a positive gain. Zymir Gordon-Miles. What about Gordon-Miles? What does he bring to the table?
He's averaging 7 yards a carry and 16 touchdowns. So expect him to touch the ball when they're down inside the red zone.
And he already has a couple of rushes in this football game. We'll see if they get him going. Vance is the target here, and he's got a first down. Move the chains with a Will Lou Gray Opportunity School first down up across the 40-yard line.
Vance has 61 catches this year and 14 touchdowns, so you'll see him catching the ball a good bit on the goal line here.
And Vance eluding the first potential tackler, and he sets things up at the 42. Again, that is a Will Lou Gray Opportunity School first down. Will Lou Gray, a rich tradition of individualized learning, sponsors of our first downs in this opening quarter. Near side, Vance again. Had some open real estate initially. That's good for a couple because they'll give him his forward progress before he's driven back by that Irmo defense. Jackets are swarming. Leading the way that time was Kyle Mitchell. They really talk about him as the leader of the linebacking corps.
And right now they look like they're trying to rush. Last play they were rushing just 3 people, defending with 8. They're trying to show them some different looks. A 4-man front this time.
Jaden Bryan, of course, leading that group up front for Irmo. Throwing in behind it. That was caught, it appeared. The ball pops out. Now, Northwestern screaming incomplete from the far side. Irmo believes they've got a shot at that takeaway, which would be the first of the night for the Jackets. Jackets come out of there with the football. We are awaiting official indication from our referees. And you love the body language from Irmo, because the guy with the football came out of the pile, went about 5 yards away, turned around, and kind of raised his palms as if to say, what are you waiting on? It will be Irmo football. Here's the turnover.
Right. Excellent throw by the quarterback. Number 33 on defense made the hit. And the ball popped loose.
That's Ty Rivers, who was on the scene for the contact. And then not sure exactly who at the bottom of the pile fell on. First guy there was Grissett, but not sure exactly who came out of there with the football when all was said and done. But Irmo doing nice work. First takeaway for the Jackets, and they go to work right away, giving it back into the grasp of White. So both teams with a turnover. I know that's something you're tracking all night long.
That's true. And turnovers, penalties, and then always a kicking game. If it comes down to an extra point being missed or a field goal attempt, and you got to be solid in the punting game. We've noted earlier in a game yesterday, the quarterbacks are punters for each team, so you could expect some kind of fake on a punt situation, depending on field position.
Father-son combo going over the play call ahead of this second down offering with just under 2.5 to go in a rapidly developing first quarter. DB stepping up a couple of steps for Northwestern. This was underneath. Going to be caught by Malik Miller. And Miller's good for a Will Lou Gray Opportunity School first down.
And he's also had 52 catches this year and 8 touchdowns, averaging 17 yards a catch. One thing Irmo does a little bit different from other people, their starting quarterback comes to the sideline, gets to play, then carries it back to the huddle.
Oh, just an opportunity to go see Dad for a minute. That's really what that's about, right?
Well, that means he probably gets 50 to 60 visits with Dad every game.
Can't beat that. There was a flag on the play.
Receiver, downfield on the offense. Penalties 5 yards. Repeat second down.
So that will negate the positive gain.
Sometimes you catch that if it's a run-pass option type play. A lineman may think it's a run. He gets downfield, and the quarterback pulls it and throws a slant or a hitch. And sometimes the lineman says, well, we thought it was a run.
Proves costly. His second down and 11 is now in effect. 50-yard line even, just across the South Carolina State logo. That's what Brandon Company need. He looked like he was loading up to throw this and will eventually be brought down at the 48. There is a flag down in the backfield.
Generally in that position, offensive holding. Doesn't have to be, but it could be.
Well, that would be consecutive flags to stall the momentum of Irmo following the turnover. It looks like they're going to walk this off against the Jackets. Here's the official call.
Holding on the offense. Penalties 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat second down.
You know, Coach, when you have a turnover, you want to be able to quickly turn it into something. These penalties have stalled that momentum a bit for Irmo.
And it takes away that opportunity to maybe advance it past midfield and field goal range or scoring a touchdown possibility.
Second down, what we often call here in South Carolina a country mile. They need the 50-yard line with the snap taking place at the 29. Under 90 seconds to play in the opening period. Brand, pressure from behind, and he'll just deliver this into the turf in survival mode at the very end of that. What can you say about the pressure Northwestern's getting right now? You see Will Massey make his way into the backfield again.
Northwestern's a very athletic defensive team. They know that Irmo's quarterback, Brand, is an excellent athlete. They got to protect the corners, not letting him get outside, and also they're applying good pressure inside.
Yeah, the initial push was from Denaje McMullen, who created the panic that Will Massey was able to capitalize on. Going to be third down and 21. Again, this one easy to figure out in terms of where the first down will be. It's on the 50-yard line. Just have to get to midfield. Easier said than done. Running for his life and eventually swallowed up is Brand. A host of Northwestern Trojans there to provide the stop with just over a minute to play. Trojans forcing Irmo to kick it away.
Irmo was trying to set up a screen, and there was one Northwestern player caught right in the middle of the stack, and they read it well. And so the quarterback smartly just decided to pull it down and try to run.
Well, eventually covered up by Cam McFadden at the end of things, but that group up front, we called McMullen's name on more than one occasion. They were the culprits to create the scenario where Northwestern can get the football back. Return man at the 40. On the opposite side of the field, the kick pressured. But able to get it away. First man won't make the tackle. Through a tunnel, now the ball pops out. And there's a mad scramble for it around the 40-yard line. A flag is also down. So hold everything regardless of who ends up with possession. It is Irmo coming out of the pile with the football one more time. But before too much celebration on Ryan Love's recovery begins, the officials will have their say.
And Ryan Love is a Shrine Bowl center. He more than likely is a long snapper on that and covered and perhaps came up with a turnover. We'll see what the ruling is on the penalty.
Yeah, he's a guy who touches it almost every play, well, at least every offensive play, but not often does he get to run around and hold the ball in the air. What a moment for the Shrine bowler, Ryan Love. Let's see if it sticks.
Turn. In the back. On the receiving team. The penalty is declined.
Ryan Love can let the celebration begin. There's going to be a great deal of love on that Irmo side for this call. It was a block in the back, and the Jackets have it right back.
2 turnovers by Northwestern already, so it's going to be a hard night if you keep making those mistakes.
Yeah, a quick turnover forced by Northwestern at the start of the game resulted in 7. Irmo capitalizing here on a chance in the kicking game to turn this turnover into points. Will it translate? Just kept in the thick of things right between the hash, covered up when all is said and done by TJ Knox Dowling. Here's the ball carrier. Yeah, that first turnover, the penalties followed, and Irmo was unable to get anything out of it. This time around, the second quarter begins with him trying to parlay another turnover into something special. 1 period in the books. 1 score on the board for both in the 5A Division II game.
I'm Dr. Timothy Gregory with Coastal Wound Care. Are you living with a diabetic or chronic wound? A wound that won't heal can lead to serious problems, even amputation. At Coastal Wound Care, we provide the most up-to-date treatments, including negative pressure, compression therapies, and skin substitutes. As a physician-run private practice, we prioritize your needs, providing the time and attention you deserve. Our dedicated team is here for you. We offer next-day appointments, making your recovery as seamless as possible. Call Coastal Wound Care now and start healing.
Is your child struggling in school? Do you know a child 16 to 19 years of age who has dropped out, lacks discipline, or is on a destructive path? Then give the Will Lou Gray Opportunity School a try. The military-style school provides an alternative education for adults in need of a second chance by offering academic instruction by state-certified teachers and job-based training. Students live on campus during the 14-week program, which is virtually free. For more information, call us or visit willlougray.org.
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great. Participate.
South Carolina's Tobacco Quit line reminding you to boost your body's defenses against cold, flu season, COVID-19. You can get free quit support from the South Carolina Tobacco Quit line. It's available for people ages 13 and up, regardless of health insurance. South Carolina Tobacco Quit line support can double your chance of quitting successfully. You can get free help 24/7. Call them at 1-800-QUIT-NOW or text READY to 34191. Well, the fans having made the trip down from Rock Hill, South Carolina to support Northwestern, those coming from Irmo, hoping to bring a championship back to the Midlands in that case. Preferred route down 26, no matter what your starting point, bringing you to Orangeburg. We're at South Carolina State. We're battling it out for a state championship. Second down, Irmo off the turnover on special teams. Going to put it right back in the hands of their QB, A.J. Brand. Northwestern, as you would expect, keying on him tonight, Coach. So far, containing him to some degree through one quarter.
They're doing a great job, and they're making sure he doesn't have a chance to bounce outside. They're keeping everything inside, making him find holes inside the tackle area.
Well, you wonder about the numbers overall for these two teams. Total yards pretty even. Turnover battle now suddenly +1 as we look at our Jim Hudson Automotive Group stats from the first quarter. What jumped out to you statistically?
Turnovers. Those things can swing a game. You need to keep it 1 or less, and Northwestern's going to have to hold on to that football.
Brand having rushed for 29 yards so far. He's completed 2 of 3 for 14 yards, and that touchdown to Murph, if you're wondering about his individual numbers to this point. Finley Polk for Northwestern, perfect 6 of 6 to start things. He's got a 14-yard touchdown as well. But you said it, his touches limited because of the 2 turnovers, one in gameplay, the other on a special team scenario, or one I should say offensively, the other in a special team scenario. Here's the latest call on our flag.
Face mask.
Yep. Looks like it's going to go against Northwestern and keep the Irmo march going. There were a couple of costly penalties for Northwestern. Now, those were on trying to limit Murph's ability to catch the football, but they extended that drive until he finally was able to cap it with a touchdown. Here's another one that marches Irmo a little deeper into Northwestern territory on the face mask.
Yes, and big penalties, too. 15-yard variety, and that keeps drives going.
Irmo, to this point, 0 for 2 on 3rd downs, but 1 for 1 on a 4th down play. So keep that in mind if they can make one of these 3rd or 4th downs stick. Northwestern. Speaking of Murph, he's in motion here. Looked like he was going to be covered, so a deep shot coming left side toward the back of the end zone, but it is incomplete. All the way to the fence in an effort to chase this down was the intended target for Irmo, Brandon Bell.
To put Murph in motion across the formation, everybody felt like it might be some type of action to the right. Brought a receiver all the way across the field. Tried to find him back in the corner of the end zone.
Well, Bell had such a head of steam there. Watch him go all the way up the hill to the extent of what the playing surface allows. But this just out of his reach, going to bring up 2nd down and 10. Singleton once more there for Northwestern, providing chase. Little jump pass, and it is into the hands of the intended target, but he was somewhat swallowed up right away by Tamarion Watkins.
It's a tight end screen, and Northwestern was reading the screens extremely well. They were in position. The quarterback had to kind of lob that over to try to complete that pass.
Like a basketball player there for a minute, showing the other athletic ability. 3rd down and 11, and we talked about it. 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, though they did convert the 1 4th down try to this point. Irmo lines up. Need the 16-yard line to move the chains. Brand swallowed up again. Big 4-5 in there to make the stop. That is DJ Knox Dowling making the stop.
Northwestern's defense is doing a great job of containing the quarterback, not allowing him to get outside. When he has to run when the receivers are covered, he's forcing him to go inside, but they got help.
One of the senior linemen rising to the occasion for Northwestern. You see the vitals for 4-5, and punting look coming for Irmo, but you said it, Coach.
It could be a fake here. They're in a position where they don't.
Well, but you have that in the back of your mind for the remainder of this game, because the talented quarterback is also the punter. Just an added wrinkle for these two teams. It stays knocked up at 7 apiece. All locked up at 7 with, guess who? Finley Polk coming out on the other side of the break.
When I was growing up, I was taught, if you make a promise, you keep it. And for 45 years, that's what we've been doing at A&I Fire and Water Restoration. From Wilmington to Florence, from Myrtle Beach to Charleston. When disaster has struck, we've made promises to tens of thousands of families to turn their houses to homes again. We take pride in keeping our promises. It's what we do. It's who we are.
A&I Fire and Water Restoration.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 12 million participants in America who take part in high school sports or activities.
Well, a very tight 5A Division II championship game as we work our way inside 9 minutes remaining in the second period of action. You want to stick around at halftime. Coastal Wound Care halftime report. We'll have highlights and stats as expected. You'll hear from members of the South Carolina High School League, all that and more coming up as the Coastal Wound Care halftime report approaches. Northwestern tightening up defensively and now going to work as Finley Polk gets another crack at it. You know, Coach, keep an eye on Finley Polk here. Hasn't had many opportunities because of the turnovers, but he's a perfect 6 for 6 for 50 yards and a touchdown to start things.
And he's had an excellent year throwing the ball.
Also has a little help in the ground game. This is going to be all the way up near midfield as Gordon Miles makes his presence known again.
A great opening hole by the center and right guard. They open up a gap for him to run through.
Zymir Gordon Miles has now 3 carries, and that total eclipsed his overall total, which was 9 yards on the 2 prior. Little toss outside to Knox.
Quick screen in the right corner really covered that and forced him out of bounds.
Well, we have invoked Knox's name a couple of times today and used that terminology when you think about what he has been. He has the lone Northwestern touchdown thus far. Make it a perfect 7 for 7 that Finley Polk has started this game. A lot of high percentage short passes, but he has been effective on them nonetheless. And a flag comes in as this begins to develop. That would have been the first off-target delivery for Polk, but we'll see if the play in the realm of actuality happened. Here comes the call.
Is that the
line? He's looking for the mic. He's going to get us informed. There's the green light.
2 foul play. On the defense. On the offense. Bill set. Get out.
Nicely done by our head referee. He and his crew doing such a tremendous job. We don't always say it, but we should. Third team on the field, honored to be a part of the championship environment as well.
They had to earn their right to get here, too. They were rated after each game. And again, they earned this spot, too, just like these 2 teams.
I've been chasing down information for you on our officials. Hope to pass that along before the day is done. But congratulations on the honor. And, again, we're very impressed with the work they have done. Lining up, running with a head of steam, Finley Polk. You have to remember Finley Polk, not known as a rushing quarterback, but there were times in the Upper State Championship game against Gaffney last week where he caught the Indians' defense off guard.
He's only averaging 4.5 yards a carry, but he scored 14 touchdowns rushing, so he probably will carry the ball a good bit on the goal line situation.
He's done it in some of this playoff run. You got to make sure the equipment's in order. Just a little bit extra time needed for Polk to make that happen. And it was an impressive run through the playoffs. They beat Indianland 49-6, Greenwood 35-6, Gaffney 58-40 in that Upper State Championship game. This is a team that outscored its opponents 142-52 in the playoffs to get here.
You do that, you have a great chance to play. And they're playing solid on offense and defense in the playoff season.
Well, they've outscored their opponents 656-210 all year. The average score, Coach, 50-16 for Northwestern this season.
You like to hear that if you're a defensive coordinator, if your offense is scoring 50 a game.
Third down waits a moment as another flag comes in, or not a flag, I should say, another timeout is called, and this is actually Northwestern taking the timeout. We will as well. 7:38 to play in the opening half of action. 7's the operative number. That's what's still on the board on both sides.
coming home from work, and while I was at a complete stop, a truck rear-ended me. With that became a lot of pain in my neck, my shoulders. My husband thought that maybe we can just handle this on our own, not knowing a year later I would actually need the surgery on my neck. But when I came to Stuart, and he was like, I'll take care of everything. It didn't feel like you were actually going through a lawsuit. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, it's a feeling that, you know, you don't have to worry about anything. That's why I would recommend someone to them.
Too early to tell, but at some point a player will emerge. They will be selected as our player of the game. Brought to you by Stanley Law Group. Stanley Law Group, your injury law professionals. Visit StanleyLawGroup.com today. Stanley Law Group has sponsored our player of the game throughout the course of this championship weekend. What a championship weekend it's been. Stick around. We'll recap it a few times for you before the night is done. But right now, this 54-degree night continues with a third down for Northwestern. Trojans keep it on the ground, and Irmo is having none of it. Finley Polk is stacked up, and fourth down is coming. Boy, that was well executed by Irmo defensively.
They did. They were reading the running back, and the quarterback kept it, and the defense made an excellent play.
You mentioned Jaden Bryant is a guy who they highlight as one of the key pieces of this defense. He and Ethan Gamble, who's number 5 right there filling up your screen, celebrate this latest stop. It's fourth down, and Northwestern is set to kick it away. Back to return is Malik Miller. You know what they love about him? 10th grader with plenty of eligibility ahead of him. He's back at the 29-yard line to return this for Irmo. We got flags before the play.
It's strange. The return guy was only 22 yards deep.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the defense. Penalty 5 yards. Remains fourth down.
I think they'll probably go for it now.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. This is going to change things. Takes it to a 4th and 1. Places it on the Irmo side of the 50. And Finley Polk, instead of thinking about a kicking posture now, ready for a shotgun snap. Before that happens, Irmo.
Irmo had 12 players on the field, so they had to call timeout to avoid that penalty.
So they get the luxury of also talking over this potential fourth down play.
Irmo,
but you see
that's their first out.
Reaction is a coach is always going to spot it. One extra individual out there wearing those yellow jacket colors.
Yes, and that would give them an automatic first down if the ball was snapped, no matter what the play was.
Well, clock stopped with 6:49 to play. I got to ask you, Coach, what have been your impressions of this first half so far from a coach's perspective as we see the two locked in the chess match here tonight?
I think immediately you think about Northwestern's quickness on defense. They're able to contain the quarterback. I think Northwestern's probably disappointed in the turnovers they've had. They can't have another one, I think, and stay in the game. Irmo is explosive. I think with the quarterback and their receivers, they can hit a big play at any time.
Well, wouldn't you like to be able just a moment to sit down after one quarter plus is in the books and get their thoughts now? You always come in with a great game plan, right? And then football starts.
Yeah, you have to adjust. Some coaches are great at planning throughout the week. Some are great on Friday nights or Friday afternoon or Thursday nights whenever they're playing.
Saturday evening, if you so choose in the case of this. You saw what happened on the fourth down play. They sort all this up. Was it enough for Northwestern to move the chains after deciding to go for it on fourth down and a long one? Well, Trojans wide receivers are lined up. They're saying, let's go. It's got to be first down. Irmo says, wait a minute. We think we stopped you. There's a penalty they got to sort out. It's going to be a false start, and by the time the dust settles, it's going to be 4th down and 6 all over again.
I didn't quite see that, but obviously the officials saw something.
Well, now they switch out the offensive unit for the kicking unit once again. The return man goes back to the 25-yard line or so. And Finley Polk drops back a little deeper as if he's going to kick this away. So we had the punt scenario, then the 4th and 1, let's go for it moment. And now with another flag, it's back to Northwestern kicking it away, and they will. Fielded at the 16-yard line, but nothing can be done with it. That's where Irmo will take over. Break down the Irmo offense as you have seen it to this point, Coach.
Irmo looks like they're trying to get the ball to Murph, their best receiver. Quarterback's been contained. He's such a dangerous threat running the ball, but whenever he's had to scramble, Northwestern's done a great job of keeping him inside the tackles, making him run inside when the receivers have been covered.
Talked about the journey for Northwestern a moment ago in the playoffs for Irmo. 38-7 over Chapin, 56-7 over West Florence, 29-25 over White Knoll to work their way here.
The White Knoll game really tested them. That's probably what they needed as a team to say, oh, we got to really focus.
Focus now. Trying to break what's been a 7-7 tie since the early stages and going to the ground to do so. Northwestern's defense is there. Just some of the guys in the truck talking just a moment ago, and they picked up on the fact that Northwestern's defensive front has been pretty impressive in this game, something I know you've been watching.
They have. They're a very physical group up front with great quickness, a great combination to have as a defensive lineman.
Think about what Pickett has been already. McMullen has made his presence known. They've created opportunities for guys like Massey and Watkins, including the early takeaway, and have really contained A.J. Brand to a large degree to this point. Here's the call on this flag. Well, you know the signals. Personal foul is going to push this backward to inside the, or right on, I should say, the 10-yard line. Did you see anything there, Coach?
I sure didn't. And in the 2 games we worked, there have been more penalties called. Generally in the playoffs, penalties aren't called too much unless it's really obvious. And the game we worked yesterday and today, there have been more penalties than usual.
Brand going to load up, fire away, looking down the field after the penalty, and he'll make the connection at the 43-yard line. You know who. It's Murph again, and a long gain here.
Yes, when you got that deadly combination, it can take you out of a lot of problems you have.
Well, you don't worry about the penalty so much now. Take a look at Murph. Well, he did a nice job making an adjustment to reel that in.
Quality receiver, quality throw by the quarterback, keeping it outside away from the defensive back.
You know, to your point about penalties just a moment ago, if you see penalties, by the time you get to a state championship game, if you see them, they are usually early in a game from a team not used to being here that you can somewhat attribute to jitters. Progress stopped after about a gain of a half a yard. That's the progress Irmo will receive. In these cases, it's been like the deeper we've gone into the game, the more the penalties have been.
A little bit unusual. And you'd think maybe if it happens to be nerves or something early, somebody might jump off sides. But here, these are 2 experienced teams that have played well in the playoffs.
Now, these more tactical errors from the penalties we have seen. Interestingly enough, something to track as we work our way home here. And the final contest of the 2024 Weekend of Champions in South Carolina. 2nd down and 9 for Irmo. Murph at the bottom of your screen. This is going to be handed off to Jones Jr. Let's take this opportunity while the training staff comes on. Well, we'll get back to that in just a moment because we were going to check on one injury, but now our focus is on another. So we got a player down for Northwestern. Coach, looks to be Will Massey, and I know you were watching, and I was kind of watching with you. Watkins was all the way over here in the midst of the Irmo sideline a moment ago. So a couple of Northwestern players that have given you some interesting moments to keep an eye on.
Yeah, on that last play, Murph and the defensive back from Northwestern on this sideline were engaging in some contact, and both of them went out of bounds together.
Well, that's why we saw him coming out of what seemed to be the huddle over here. The moment of concern right now for the Northwestern faithful, Will Massey, one of the key seniors on this defense.
And also a player from Irmo coming off with the help of a trainer.
Yeah. Massey working his way off to the far side. And I'm with you. Hard to get a number. But it looked like maybe, was it one of those linemen perhaps for...
Yeah. And this was unusual. The center came over and talked to one of the coaches too. You don't usually see a center jog to the sideline to talk to a coach.
Of course, that center, the Shrine Bowl center, Ryan Love, who's already come away with a special teams play, recovering a fumble a little bit earlier in the contest. Into the hands of Brand. Brand looking for running room. There simply has been no room in the heart of that Northwestern defensive front, and the Trojans turn him aside one more time.
That was a straight quarterback draw. All the receivers were just running off, and again, Northwestern's done a great job of containing him. I don't know if he'll get frustrated or not, but excellent defense.
Well, a picture is worth 1,000 words when you talk about frustration, because you see him shaking his head as he turns away. For a little more on some of the attrition we're seeing in this game tonight, let's go field side. Jack?
Hey, wanted to keep you guys updated. That was Massey, the big-time senior linebacker, Will Massey. If you notice, he had a big brace on that right knee. It's something he's been dealing with all year. You guys said it perfectly, the lineman rolling up on it. We'll keep you updated as the game progresses. But also, something to keep an eye on. He's been playing with it throughout the ball game. But Aaron Brand Jr., the stud dual-threat quarterback, obviously we know that Irmo loves to utilize his legs, but he has got that right hand taped up pretty good. He has come over to the sidelines after every possession, and they have re-taped it up. Not sure if that's affected maybe the grip on the football, and that's why they keep going to different adhesive, but something to keep an eye on as the game progresses.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Thanks, Jack. Coach has a little window into some of what may be going on with Brand as well.
When it's your right hand, as far as throwing the ball, as far as pressure on the ball, could be a factor in the throwing game. Not as much in the running game.
Northwestern with the football back. Finley Polk drops back, and he's going to fire one deep. Has a man right over the middle, just beyond the South Carolina State logo. Jaden Nichols brings it in. Major gain and a big spark in this late second quarter drive.
That was a play I saw him work on in practice this week. The quarterback has amazing touch on balls. We used to call them skinny posts and things. Puts a lot of pressure on the two deep safeties.
Now remember, there was a flag on that one potential incomplete pass earlier, so he is a perfect 8 for 8 to start the football game. That one at a little more distance, Coach.
Right, and he's not scared to put it down the field. A very accurate thrower and a very smart decision maker.
So many people you could talk about surrounding this Northwestern program. The discussion about Polk was always on what a crisp and on-target ball he throws. You've already seen that in the early stages of this championship game. He drops back to fire away again. Sees some open real estate to the left. Connects at the marker with his intended target. You can move the chains. That's another first down, and it's Knox who had the touchdown earlier, providing the Stewart Law Office's first down this time.
Polk has, thrown 42 touchdowns, but only 6 interceptions. When you get that kind of ratio, you'll win a lot of games.
And he is perfect on his first 9 deliveries tonight. Make it 10. This is caught somehow hanging on to the football as he pinballed around from one defender to the next. What work by Jaden Nichols.
Great concentration. Also, the quarterback threw it in the spot where he had to. He was great on this in practice when they were working.
First 10 on the money. Make it 11. This screen means another touchdown for Knox. He weaves through traffic for the Rush's TD, and Northwestern is back on top.
Anytime you score on a screen, and this was a wide receiver screen, other people are blocking for you. So we get to see a replay. I'm sure there were some excellent blocks out in front of the play.
How about this? Finley Polk, 11 for 11 to start the football game. A high percentage scenario here. And when you have a playmaker like Knox to throw to, why not? He has both of Northwestern's scores. Trojans take the lead with 2:26 to play in the opening half.
In the strings, 3 other receivers have more touchdown catches than he does. So they're definitely spread it out in their offense. And tonight, this might be his night.
He's gaining on him. Kick is true. Matthew Fish able to put it through the uprights, making it 14-7. Double-digit total of perfect passes thrown for the, to this point, perfect Northwestern Trojans in 2024. Irmo now with a chance to answer what was an impressive Northwestern drive.
It certainly was, and the quarterback, again, a very poised quarterback. He gets the ball to the right places. He certainly reads the defense, well coached, and has a great group of skilled athletes. Watching them practice, I couldn't tell who their go-to guy was. There was 3 or 4 of them that looked the same to me.
That's a nightmare scenario for somebody trying to scheme it on the other side. If you missed Finley Polk's numbers at the outset, he threw 241 completed passes out of 344 attempts for 3,200 plus yards. You've talked about the 42 touchdowns and just these 6 interceptions, but he has been as locked in tonight as he's been all season long. Here's the Palmetto Pride scoring summary. 5 plays, a 78-yard march, a 2nd touchdown on the night for Tadarian Knox.
He was sharp at practice when I watched, and he certainly hadn't dropped off any tonight.
Time for another Low Country Crawl Spaces kickoff. Let's work together to correct your crawl space problems today. And that's into the end zone. What a luxury it is, Coach, when you got a guy like Matthew Fish at your disposal. I know it certainly takes a lot of the worries away on the coaching side of things when you can have that consistent touchdown.
Yeah, it's a kicking game is a weapon for you. You know, they used to say a 1/3 of a football team. A lot of times people don't spend as much time with it as they should. But Northwestern's kicking game has been excellent this year, and they're proving it again tonight.
Aaron Brand Jr. to this point, 4 of 6, 46 yards, 11 carries, but 23 yards. Limited to just a couple of yards on average per touch. Some of that the defensive front getting in there for some losses. He's going to deliver one on target right here. Connects with Malik Miller. Told you about Miller in that he is one of the up-and-comers. 10th grader makes the catch here.
And he's had 52 catches this year, averaging 17 a catch with 8 touchdowns.
Move the chains. That's the Stewart Law Office's first down. But nice job up front to prevent Northwestern from getting the sack.
Somebody's holding their leg.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see. Big 7-7. Stephen Hill there did some good work to free Brand. Let's see.
It looks like just a cramp the way his teammate is trying to hold his leg.
Well, it is Brand. You see him grabbing it there. You see, you said it, Coach. He's grabbing that right calf, it seems.
And it's the hardest thing to convince players on your football team to hydrate during the week. You can't do it the day of the game or the first quarter. You've got to get that fluid, electrolytes in your body. If not, it's too late when you start the game.
Well, he says so as we watch the Gatorade Player of the Year right now in South Carolina. What a great talent he is. Coach giving a little advertisement for the electrolytes as we work forward, and a good sign as he pops right up and is all good. Coach, going back to that play for just a moment, good to see Brand as he trots off there. Stephen Hill delivered a block that allowed him to break free, kept him from getting hit from the blind side again.
Yeah, it's so important, offensive line play in games like this. Normally, it could be a physical game. This is more of a finesse game. You're seeing more skilled players making big plays. It's not a power game that you might see from other opportunities.
That's a great point. Second down coming from behind the sticks. How about this glance? Weaving through and working his way toward first down yardage before finally being drugged to the turf. Did we mention a bright future for Miller? You see what happens when the ball is placed immediately in his hands.
He went in and the shotgun spread offense, and they just ran the ball with him. Such a skilled athlete.
Running like a wildcat when you consider he has come into the contest with A.J. Brand having to park for a play and Miller giving them a lift as needed while Brand caught his breath. Again, 10th grader, part of the future for this Irmo squad. Brand is back now. He's going to run to the right side. There's that trademark jump pass, and he was trying to go in the direction of Murph, but it is incomplete.
And again, the Northwestern defense didn't allow him to get outside the pocket, so he had to kind of hurry that a little bit to get it over the defender.
Look at the difference in the passing yards for these two teams. 5 of 7, 58 yards for Irmo. 11 of 11, 124 yards for Northwestern. Now, when you talk about total yards, it's 166 to 124. And yes, Irmo makes a great deal of their hay in the ground game, but those still numbers that jump off the screen at you to this point. 1:02 to play in the opening half. Second down and 10. Just inside their own territory for the Jackets. Brand gets away. Inside Northwestern territory. He's got a first down this time. He's going to let him know about it just a little bit. That's got to feel good for a guy who has been hemmed up for the most part by Northwestern this half. He rushes for Stewart Law Office's first down. You want a little bit of a vision of what the quarterback for Irmo can be? Here it is.
A little quarterback counter. He kept the ball himself. A very, very tough runner himself. Hard to pull down.
Also worked out of bounds with 53 seconds to play. The Vitals on Aaron Brand Jr. A.J. Brand claps his hands. He's going to sling this to the 27-yard line. Good adjustment by Donovan Murph to make the catch. The 4-star working together with his highly touted QB for Stewart Law Office's first down.
Again, you can tell when you've caught that many passes this year, he'll look to him in critical situations.
Virginia Tech commit with a big rush, then a solidly delivered pass, and he takes the snap one more time. Going to throw this to Murph. There's some open real estate at the 20. Cuts inside, and he's going to work it into the Doctor's Implants red zone. That also is good enough to move the chains with another Stewart Law Office's first down. But a Doctor's Implants red zone opportunity on the Stewart Law Office's first down. Stops the clock on the timeout with 21 seconds to play.
And what Northwestern has done for most of the game with Murph is kind of bracket coverage him with somebody rolled up on him and another person helping 8 or 10 yards off, kind of trying to take that quick throw away from him. By that time they helped set up a screen and had a blocker out in front.
Vitals on Donovan Murph, who has been a big part of Irmo's attack in this contest. The first half is any indication the bar is going to be set real high for the balance of this one. You know something about the state championship for Irmo in 1980.
I happened to be assistant coach on that team for Coach Joe Tuberville, and we had lost to Somerville 2 previous years, and finally we beat them the 3rd year after playing them. It was 3 seasons in a row, and it was very special. Our defensive coaches did an excellent job of game planning them, and we were able to score just enough to beat them.
Talk about the championship environment of that community in Irmo and what it means to that community.
Well, that day it was at Irmo High School on the grass field, not a turf field. So it's very special for the whole community.
Looking for a first championship since that 1980 crowd. Trying to close up the gap here late second period. It's going to be a toss from the back, and flags fly everywhere as it is going to almost certainly be interference with bodies getting tangled in the end zone.
Yeah, they were running a reverse pass, and they were trying to get the ball to Murph, and the defensive back probably realized he was beat and grabbed him to try to prevent a touchdown.
Now, while they sort this out, you're listening to Eddie Muldrow, longtime coach at Chapin High School. You'll remember him from his playing days at Carolina. You can't escape those, by the way. You were grabbed 2 or 3 times coming into the stadium tonight. They were talking about your playing days. Here's another look at this as you see all the contact that takes place in the end zone. And the call you would expect it to be. Now, I was told Steady Eddie is the nickname we got to go with, right? Is that what we were told as we worked our way in here?
Well, a coach called me that one time, so it kind of stuck. I'm not sure why.
Well, they know you.
I think I was steady and slow.
Yeah, well, you've been steady in the booth tonight, that's for sure. Certainly those memories from championship days gone by. Trying to be replicated by this Irmo team. Look who's loose. Brand, a flag is going to come in, though, so we'll see if it stands, and his reaction tells you everything you need to know.
It looked like the right tackle reached and grabbed, and so the quarterback was able to get outside. We'll check again to see who it was, but the right tackle maybe had a piece of arm or jersey.
This has been a game marked by the flags at a level in a state championship game you're not used to seeing. As Coach indicated earlier, this one is holding, and it's going to negate what was going to be the first touchdown run for Brand. What do you see there?
Ended up grabbing, actually it was a running back that grabbed him late and held on, allowed the quarterback to get outside.
Right there in the heart of your screen. And as Brand made his way up the slight incline beyond that Bulldogs designation in the South Carolina State end zone here, the word reached him, and you could see, for a guy who thought he had just tied the game, what it meant. Only 8 seconds with which to work now. Down's not a problem. Time goes for the end zone. Another flag. May have been contact before the receiver was loose to take a shot at this one.
Yeah, looks like another penalty on defense. Probably the defense back realized he was beat and probably grabbed the receiver. So you'll have another down here, half the distance.
Do we have to guess what part of the conversation is going to be in the locker room at halftime?
Man, we got to eliminate these penalties and turnovers if we have a chance to win this game. We got to be a sharper team. Focus.
That's going to be true on both sides. 3 ticks remaining in the second quarter after they sort this penalty out.
Here, do you make the decision?
Well, this is going to put Irmo much closer to the goal line. Maybe make the decision you're about to talk about a little tougher.
Yeah, you want to try to get the sure points. I thought I read the coach's lips, and it sounded like he said field goal. We'll see if let's see who's holding for it. I think Brand's a holder, so possibly a fake involved here. Maybe not this early in the game.
Will Kelly is out there practicing his stroke as he gets set perhaps to kick this from what would be the 16-yard line, making it a 26-yard attempt. An attempt to cut the lead to 4 with 3 seconds remaining in the half. Left-footed, southpaw kicker Will Kelly. Punches it right through to make it a 14-10 contest. And, Coach, as you predicted, Irmo grabs the sure points here.
Right. Yeah. Take those now. It's a tight game. Go back and regroup at halftime. You move the ball down the field. Take that as a positive heading into the half.
And apologies, Tucker Williams on the kick there. It's Tucker Williams who punches that through. You saw his vitals pop up on your screen. What a moment for Tucker Williams to get the job done for Irmo. And the 10 points secured by the Jackets now in stone for the first half. 14 on the board for Northwestern. We'll hear from the coach in a second, but first your thoughts about what we saw in this first half, Coach.
I thought Northwestern's defense impressed me. They pretty much kept Brand inside the pocket, forced him to run sometimes on uncalled running plays. It's just coverage was pretty good, but they forced him to stay inside, didn't give him a chance to break the big play.
His one touchdown run, as we saw it, was negated by a penalty. So it was 5 carries, 72 yards. Or, excuse me, check that. It was for Brand, 13 carries, 38 yards. 5 catches, 72 yards. The other note I had jotted down. And the 1 touchdown. Those the catches for Donovan Murph. He led the way. For Irmo, you look over on the other side. We talked about the perfect start for Northwestern. And Finley Polk, 11 of 11, 124 yards, 2 touchdown passes. It results in a 14-10 halftime score. Suffice it to say, 1 half in the books, nothing settled in the 5A Division II title game.
Still up for grabs. I think the coach is going to talk about penalties and turnovers at halftime more than anything. Again, you need to eliminate those or at least greatly reduce those to make sure you're in the game at the final quarter.
Well, Paige Wofford went right on into the locker room to get things started, but he did stop and say a word to Jack. Jack, what do you have to say?
Well, you guys are the best in the business. You called it. He went that hustle in that locker room because I think you're right. It's all about cleaning it up on the defensive side of the ball. He goes, we play a much disciplined second half. We are 2 quarters away from a state championship. And when it came to his quarterback, he goes, well, this is as good as advertised. He is this kid. Gardner Webb is getting a really special quarterback, and I'm glad that I've got him for another half. Send it back up to you guys.
Hey, thanks, Jack. Appreciate you catching up with Coach. We'll hear from the Irmo head coach on the backside of halftime, but much to come on the halftime report. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us. Northwestern, perfect start for Finley Polk and his perfect crew. 11 of 11, 124. Those 2 touchdowns and up at the half.
I'm Dr. Timothy Gregory with Coastal Wound Care. Are you living with a diabetic or chronic wound? A wound that won't heal can lead to serious problems, even amputation. At Coastal Wound Care, we provide the most up-to-date treatments, including negative pressure, compression therapies, and skin substitutes. Call Coastal Wound Care now and start healing.
At Palmetto Pride, we know we have a choice. The choice for cleaner South Carolina. And it's an easy one at that. Don't litter. No grand gestures or heroic efforts here, but the outcome still has monumental impacts. When it comes to our state, every choice counts and every action matters. From the great outdoors to parks next door, from Main Street to your street. All it takes is a little bit of pride to keep South Carolina beautiful.
Are you experiencing diabetic or chronic wounds? At Coastal Wound Care, your healing is our priority. Our physician-run private practice allows us to prescribe the most up-to-date wound therapy, offer rapid appointments, and ensure you see the same caregivers at each visit. Call Coastal Wound Care now and start healing.
Going to college for esports feels amazing. Growing up, it's something I never thought would happen. My family never thought it would happen. And then within 2.5 years, here I am.
He's actually a madman whenever it comes to playing on the sticks. You know, he's going to be the first one that pursues this into an academic career.
Me getting an esports scholarship could show other students that it's possible for them too, as long as they put their mind to it and put some effort into it.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 12 million participants in America who take part in high school sports or activities.
You're watching the Coastal Wound Care Halftime Report. Heal faster with Coastal Wound Care.
Hey everybody, I'm Nelson Weston. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Friday Night Rivals. Joining us today is our long-standing good friend all the way from Ingalls Markets, Melissa Lover. Good to see you, my friend.
Your football friend.
It's football friend indeed. Now, Melissa, speaking of football, I want to transition from football to the classroom because you and I both know y'all have a famous program called Tools for Schools. And for those who are unfamiliar, how exactly does it operate on one hand, but on the other hand, more importantly, how do the good folks at home go about supporting it and getting involved today?
Oh, Nelson, it's really a wonderful program because it's geared toward the school and the needs that they have that sometimes, lots of times, teachers will actually end up buying out of their own pocket.
Indeed.
You have an Ingalls Advantage card and a list of schools who participate in the Ingalls Tools for School program. Link your card to one of those schools, and every time you shop, you're earning dollars. At the end of the year, the school can go and purchase what items they need.
Oh, that sounds like an amazing and well-rounded program.
Right.
Now, Ingalls, y'all have provided robust support to the community for so many years now. We're talking high school athletics, college athletics, and everything in between. It does beg the fundamental question, why? Why is it so critical for y'all?
Well, it's not just sports, but it's also educational programs. But we're the home team. Ingalls is your hometown grocery market, so you are also supporting our home teams.
Of course.
It's really important for us to be a part of that community. We love being part of that, and we're blessed to be able to do that. Lots of those students work at our stores or graduated from those schools. We see these people in church. We see these people at work. This is a really big deal for us. Might be a big company to look at us from the outside in, but we like being beacons in our own communities.
Y'all are beacons indeed. All outstanding work. Now, Melissa, very quickly, you and I both know no great game is complete without delicious, mouth-watering good food. What are some of the most popular items on y'all's menu?
Oh, my goodness. You have to start off with a wonderful boar's head sub, just absolutely good with all the trimmings, great fried chicken, all the sides you could possibly want, a wonderful salad bar, a wing bar, olive bar. I mean, I don't know if I could decide. I just have to go get a big old wheelbarrow and take it all there, plus all the things you need, like chips and drinks and paper plates. One-stop shopping place for all your tailgating.
All fantastic work indeed. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for your time here today.
Thank you, Nelson.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Christmas.
Hurry, they're going to be up soon.
When families and communities come together in the spirit of peace on earth and goodwill towards men.
Operation Silent Night and Still on a Fence. Okay, we're ready.
At Ingalls, we know that Christmas isn't just a holiday. It's a feeling to embrace all year long. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
I am glad I'm here because it's really helping me.
I have a lot of things I want to do.
I like being in charge of others.
My confidence has really built up since I've been here.
This place has shown me, it's not good to run from your education.
It's a really great place. You got people here that are willing to help you.
It's something that's going to get you through every day. It's just something you have to have. And they're making it possible for me because if I wasn't here, I would not be in high school.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great. Participate.
You're watching the Coastal Wound Care Halftime Report. Heal faster with Coastal Wound Care.
As we welcome you back into Oliver C. Dawson Stadium, I'm here with Dr. Singleton. Another incredible weekend, almost in the books, with just a half to go. How's the South Carolina High School League feeling about another awesome championship weekend?
Well, we're 1 week later than we normally were. We usually have had this done last week, but weather forced us early in the season to have to move it a week. This went great. This is our 6th championship that we're doing. Where in the past we used to do 5. This time we're doing 6. And it worked out well. We had to start a game where we normally started on Thursday night. We actually started Thursday, and then we did Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But this is wonderful. I appreciate all the fans coming out and supporting their community, supporting their schools. Worked out great for us.
South Carolina State, home of the second time. We were here a year ago, but Dr. Singleton, I want to know what's next. I know the South Carolina High School League, just because this football weekend is over, doesn't mean that you guys are not going to be busy as all get out moving forward.
It's interesting you said that. This game closes out our fall sports season. Winter sports season coming up next, but we get an opportunity to have a little Christmas break. When staff gets a little opportunity to kind of take a break, step away from me, and enjoy themselves just a little bit. I've got a great staff. I can't say enough about them. All of them, they really work hard at what they're doing, and I really appreciate all the efforts that they put in place. So they need this little break that's coming up, and then we'll get back and we'll jump into winter sports. That'll be wrestling and basketball, and we're looking for exciting times with that.
Well, I'm not ready to step away from you quite yet, but we do appreciate you having us this weekend, Dr. Singleton. Thank you for your time. Northwestern with a 4-point lead, but don't go anywhere. We've got a whole other half to play from here at Oliver C. Dawson Stadium. We'll see you on the other side of this halftime report.
When I was growing up, I was taught, if you make a promise, you keep it. And for 45 years, that's what we've been doing at A&I Fire and Water Restoration. From Wilmington to Florence, from Myrtle Beach to Charleston. When disaster has struck, we've made promises to tens of thousands of families to turn their houses to homes again. We take pride in keeping our promises. It's what we do. It's who we are.
A&I Fire and Water Restoration.
Rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great. Participate.
Watching the Coastal Wound Care Halftime Report. Heal faster with Coastal Wound Care.
Great deal of conversation around the Palmetto State this week about how evenly matched these two teams were. When you look at the numbers in a bit, it will bear that out. They are separated by 4 at the intermission. Northwestern a slight lead here, Coach, but it has been an entertaining half of football.
It certainly has. Both teams have played well. There's probably been more penalties and turnovers than you would expect in a state championship game, but maybe they'll settle down in the second half.
We're certainly glad you've enjoyed the first half with us. Very excited about the second half to come. First things first, though, let's look back at what we've witnessed so far. Playmakers all over the field, so the highlights package, a little tough to narrow down. You know he's going to be involved, but limited for the most part, and Northwestern forced a turnover early.
Northwestern's defense has done a great job of containing the quarterback for Irmo.
Finley Polk went to work. That's one of 11 he threw in the first half. All of them completed. That's one of 2 touchdowns for Knox. Take a look at what happened here. Murph involved. Their leading receiver. They find a way of getting the ball to him. Or Finley Polk, nice shoulder fake, one of the many weapons he had, but this is one of 2 takeaways for Irmo.
And you can't have those in the state championship game and expect to come out ahead, so they got to clean that up the second half.
This was Northwestern on the march again, though, as they reestablish the lead. The screenplay, the difference for 14 on the board.
Excellent blocking outside to give the receiver a chance to score.
Double his number, that's what he has. Then the kick was good. The Tucker Williams 26-yard field goal, which cut the deficit to 4. We had to double-check. They double-checked in the truck. 166 total yards on both sides.
And that's very unusual and balanced for Irmo, 83 rushing and passing, whereas Northwestern has more in the passing game. But the thing that sticks out to me, penalties pretty much 6 and 5. 2 turnovers Northwestern versus 1 Irmo. They've got to clean those things up the second half.
Not much separation numerically, only a separation of 4 where it counts. Got to play 4 quarters, though. This one far from settled. Stay with us. We'll be back to Oliver C. Dawson Stadium with the second half in just a bit.
Drove a 26-foot box truck. Somebody was in the wrong lane coming straight at me, and he couldn't correct, and the whole truck laid over and landed on my shoulder. It impacted me because you worked in constant pain. When the company acted like they didn't care, I knew it was time to get some help. When you hire Stewart Law, they made you feel, like you're just a regular person and not a client. I would just recommend anybody having troubles to call Stewart Law.
Is your child struggling in school? Do you know a child 16 to 19 years of age who has dropped out, lacks discipline, or is on a destructive path? Then give the Will Lou Gray Opportunity School a try. The military-style school provides an alternative education to young adults in need of a second chance by offering academic instruction by state-certified teachers and job-based training. Students live on campus during the 14-week program, which is virtually free. For more information, call us or visit willlougray.org.
Every morning, we rise before the sun, driven by passion, fueled by determination. We train hard, we stay focused, and we never give up because we know that every drop of sweat, every ounce of effort brings us closer to our dreams. But it's not just about the physical. Staying healthy and hydrating is key. Dairy gives us protein, electrolytes, and other key nutrients we need to recover and stay strong. Because greatness isn't just built on the field, it's built in the choices we make every day. Milk's got game. Do you?
Going to college for esports feels amazing. Growing up, it's something I never thought would happen. My family never thought it would happen. And then within 2.5 years, here I am.
He's actually a madman whenever it comes to playing on the sticks. He's going to be the first one that pursues this into an academic career.
Me getting an esports scholarship could show other students that it's possible for them too, as long as they put their mind to it and put some effort into it.
Well, a 14-10 halftime score. What a wonderful first half of action between Northwestern and Irmo. I had a chance to visit with one coach prior to the half. You heard the thoughts of the Northwestern head coach as he made his way into the locker room, and Jack also caught up with the Irmo head coach coming out of the locker room.
I appreciate you guys here with Coach. Coach, 2 quarters for a state championship. What was your final message to your team before you take the field?
Just to try to finish. Hopefully that field goal at the end of the half gave us a little momentum going into the second half, but we got to convert down there in the red zone a little bit better, shot ourselves in the foot with that penalty, but and the early turnover, something we're unaccustomed to, but we'll be better this half.
Yeah, your defense has stood on their head. Is there any adjustment to try to slow down their quarterback?
Well, he's tough, man. I don't know if you can slow it down. You got to hope to contain him, though, so we got to get a little bit more pressure on him.
Coach, really appreciate your time. Best of luck in the second half. Send it back upstairs to you guys.
Thanks, Jack. Jack, the long champ's doing such a fine job for you on the sideline in all these championship games this week. And our entire crew, you think about the work in the truck and everything that has gone into setting up and preparing and making it possible for folks all across South Carolina and beyond to enjoy these championship games. A lot of football left here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But big thank you to everybody who made the live coverage of these games possible this weekend in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Return of the second half kickoff for Northwestern goes up across the 25 to the 27. Got to ask you, Coach, as Finley Polk and company get ready to come out and start the third quarter, what adjustments do you see on both sides as needed?
Right now, I feel like Northwestern's feel like they're in a groove on offense. They feel like they're calling the right plays, making the right decision. They're doing an excellent job on defense of trying to contain Brandon quarterback. Irmo probably says we just got to find a way to make our quarterback have some more opportunities to make big plays.
Well, those are the thoughts of Eddie Muldrow, head coach in the booth here for you. They're going to like this big play. Goes down the far side, and that is going to be a Knox delivery. And boy, Finley Pogue, I mean, think about this, Coach. These two have connected very well. You look at how these teams are going to recover coming out of the locker room. Reminds you of our first half recovery brought to you by Dairy Alliance. And this is a team, Northwestern that is, that just keeps on rolling here to start the second half. Every pass he has thrown to this point had been completed perfectly. Connected on his first 12 in succession. And you saw the response there. Knox felt like, hey, I should have caught that for you.
And as a receiver, you should. That one went through his hands. Again, it could be one more completion in a row.
Yeah, 12 of 13 to start things. Connecting on his first 12, couple of touchdowns, long of 37. And boy, you think about how the numbers are just growing with up over 160 yards passing for Finley Polk. You said it when we were looking at his numbers at the half, Coach, that yes, it was a big night. Yes, it was an amazing feat to complete as many as he did in a row. But you said Andy's doing it in a state championship game.
Exactly. You know, this is when it's all on the line. This is what both teams have worked for all year, and he's doing it in the big moments. So a lot of times people can do it maybe in a non-region game or perhaps against an earlier playoff opponent, but do it on the big stage. That's very important.
Yeah, think about it. The first 12 in a row. You saw those numbers from Finley Polk. Connects on the third down toss, looking for number 3. He's got Vance, and Vance has got the first down and then some. Beautiful play call for Northwestern.
When I was amazed watching their practice, they get the ball to so many different people. It's hard just to focus on a lockdown receiver. He throws it to different people on third down, not just one person he's looking for.
Has the weapons. Knox, who has the 2 touchdowns. Vance, who you saw there. Nichols, Caldwell. It goes on. This time it is Nichols, and Nichols is good inside the 15 down to the 11-yard line.
And here you have to give credit to the other 2 wide receivers. They were blocking for him and turns a 3 or 4 yard pass into about an 8 or 9 yard gain.
Carries this down to the Doctor's Implants red zone. Doctor's Implants, empowering people through full mouth dental implants. Doctor's Implants, sponsors of our red zone. That is going to be another Will Lou Gray Opportunity School first down, as it is inside the 9-yard line. They're going to call it the 8. That's a first and goal scenario for Northwestern. Northwestern went up 7-0 after a quick turnover to start the game. They went up 14-7 after the game rocked along tied at 7 for a while. Up 4 now and looking for what would be their largest lead of the day. This is simply thrown away. And, boy, you want one more window into the football IQ of Finley Polk. There it is.
Yes, everything was covered. Irmo said, we're going to give you the run if you want it. They would playing 3-on-2 on the wide receiver set on both sides and a man over top, and he just threw that away to save a sack.
The Webb commit has been impressive so far in this one. Not worried about that on personal statistical situation. He's worried about adding to his team's lead. He will escape long enough to set his feet, but delivers this a bit high. Nichols was covered up pretty nicely anyway. Just like that, it becomes third down and goal.
Irmo brought pressure that time and had an extra rusher, and so it got in his face a little bit, forced him to throw a little bit quicker than he wanted to.
Well, the Irmo faithful coming to their feet, trying to employ this defense from the Midlands to come up with a stand here. Third down, goal to go. Polk over the middle. Was that taken away by Irmo? They are struggling for control of the football at the 5-yard line, and their official has made a signal yet. Now they're going to pile up and battle for the football. It's going to be something to sort out, Coach.
Initially, it looked like it was a completed pass, and then Irmo looked like they perhaps pulled the ball away. We'll see what the official was going to decide.
Well, Irmo came out of there with the football. The Northwestern player snatched it back and handed it to the referee. It'll be interesting to see who they give this to. I see a clenched fist, which indicates fourth and goal.
I have a feeling that Northwestern will kick the field goal here, try to get points.
Kicker having already run onto the field, as Matthew Fish is going to have this basically an extra point, as Finley Polk is set to place it on the 10-yard line for a 20-yard try. It's good. A field goal to end the half for Irmo. A field goal to begin the second half for Matthew Fish and Northwestern. The lead back to 7 for the Upper State champion Trojans.
Dual enrollment's like a double scoop with a cherry on top. High school credits for me, college credits for me, and no stressing about costs for Dad.
We hear you. Your future is waiting at a South Carolina technical college.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 12 million participants in America who take part in high school sports or activities.
Senior year's all fun and games for them, but not for me. With dual enrollment, I'm going to get a jump start on college and save time later.
We hear you. Your future is waiting at a South Carolina technical college.
Well, plenty of time for the player that will determine the outcome of this state championship game. Will it be one of the familiar characters from this battle, or will there be an unsung hero emerge? You'll find out at the end of the contest when we select our Stanley Law Group Player of the Game. Stanley Law Group, your injury law professionals. Visit StanleyLawGroup.com today, sponsors of our Player of the Game. Coach, number of candidates for that so far. These coaches, well, they are scheming after coming out of the locker room. You know, it's a different day technology-wise. As you look at the right portion of your screen, there is immediate information to work with nowadays.
And the players now, when they come off after offensive or defensive set, they can sit and watch a review of what's just happened the last 5 to 8 plays or whatever, and they can be instant coaching instead of a coach telling them. They can actually show them, and sometimes players are better at seeing things from the screen than from a coach's lips.
We've always talked about which team can make adjustments first. Now you're in a position to make real-time adjustments.
You can, and immediate feedback too. I guess it's the modern world, but they can do it. They all have their little sideline tents. You used to think that might have been for weather purposes. Now it's just to huddle up and have a good view and protect your TV screen.
Not going to help you much tonight unless you got a heater under that tent, right?
That's true.
Here comes a low country crawl spaces kickoff. Fielded at the 5. And ahead of steam on the return out to the 32-yard line. How explosive has Malik Miller been at times tonight for Irmo?
He's a quick wide receiver, and obviously had a big return there.
Fish had to become involved. The guy who just kicked it through the uprights, the Northwestern kicker. Capping a 10-play, 69-yard drive that ended in his 20-yard field goal.
And Fish has had an excellent year as a kicker. You can see that he is 73 for 73 on extra points coming in, 10 for 12 on field goals. So he's definitely a weapon in their offensive plan.
Has one to remember in the state championship environment as well, to put 17 on the scoreboard for Northwestern. Well, this looks a little different, and but for a shoestring tackle, it may have gone the distance for Aaron Brand Jr. He's running with confidence in his first touch out of the locker room.
Yes, they were pulling a left guard, followed him, had a great hole, and almost broke that with the big one.
13 carries, only 38 yards. He had a pretty good chunk of that here on his first carry of the second half. Now 14 for 54 if you look at his day in full. And Jaden Baxter, the reason he wasn't celebrating at the end of this run. Here's a first down. Just shy of that South Carolina State logo at midfield. They're going to keep it on the ground. It's a give off right side this time, and Amir White is going to work this into a positive gain. You know, this the Division II 5A state championship. Folks may be scratching their head a little bit saying, wait a minute, I watched a 5A championship yesterday. Didn't Dutch Fork win that? The classifications were split for the first time in a while again this year, Coach.
It was. They used to have a Big 16, which was the 16 largest schools in the state. And they called it the Little 32 with them. And now I think the breakdown is 27 schools in Division I and 27 in Division II.
And they have identical playoff scenarios now. When you look at the bracket, it's just a matter of which schools have more enrollment than the others in terms of whether you go Division I or you go Division II. But I grew up and you coached in those Big 16 days. Nothing quite like them when you think about it, and the way it elevated South Carolina football on the whole.
It was special then, and if you could win that, you were winning against the best teams in the state.
Now these pretty special days for these two teams right here as we get another penalty flag. This one on a face mask that is going to march Irmo a little deeper into Northwestern territory.
And you heard the Northwestern coach at halftime saying we got to clean up some things, and you can't have penalties and you can't have turnovers in critical situations like this.
7:43 to play in this third quarter. And A.J. Brand, the Virginia Tech commit, who is the Gatorade Player of the Year in South Carolina, the son of the Irmo head coach, such a highly regarded prospect on display in this weekend of champions, seeming to come out with some third quarter confidence. He's going to turn, give to his back one more time inside the 40 to the 39 on first down. It is a gain of a couple for Amir White. What exactly does Amir White provide in this offensive scheme?
Not only is he an excellent runner for him, you know, he's averaging 8.3 yards a carry, 7 touchdowns. He's a threat in the screen game when they need to dump the ball to him.
He has certainly been a compliment for the work of the quarterback tonight as you see his vitals so far on the year. Going to run this over the left side. Still on his feet. Refusing to go down this time is Brand. That showed the fight that Irmo has seen from him across the course of the season as he just kept on digging until he received the Will Lou Gray first down.
He looked like he was hitting the backfield. 97 looked like he had him wrapped up, and he broke the tackle and wasn't going to be denied. It looks like Irmo's thoughts are maybe let's just try to establish a running game this half. Maybe not put it on our quarterback's shoulders to make so many throws.
Well, you get a glimpse there what the Hokies were bargaining for when they decided they wanted to have him coming onto the field to enter Sandman in the future.
He is definitely a great athlete.
First down and 10 from the 25-yard line. He's going to take a deep shot here. Looking for Murph again. Did he stay in bounds? Incomplete is the ruling. Murph, something special coming down with that catch. But he could not quite, what do they say? Get the puppies in order to keep it in bounds.
In high school, you only need 1 foot, so he could have found one toe to sit in there before he went out of bounds.
Let's take a look at this. Just landed on the wrong side of things for Irmo. Going to create a second down and 10. Nice toss and catch. Just lands out of bounds. Pretty good coverage to force him to the out of bounds side. You got to give plenty of credit to Joshua Singleton there.
Yeah, he was right on top of him. Tough guy to cover, too.
It'll be Brand again. He has been elusive on this drive. Inside the 20 to the 18, he creates the Doctor's Implants red zone chance for Irmo. Doctor's Implants, empowering people through full mouth dental implants. That's Doctor Implants. Doctor's Implants sponsoring our red zone. Well, it has taken more than one Trojan to pull down A.J. Brand on this third quarter march. This by far the most impressive work he's been able to do so far in the game.
He's pretty much been on the ground. They haven't been trying to hit the deep pass. He is definitely a great runner.
So many people considered him the X factor. His play tonight, how far it would go to keep Irmo on pace with this explosive Northwestern squad. Heard more than one person tell us that as we like to walk around the stadium beforehand and talk to individuals across the course of the week and say, what do you expect out of this game? What do you expect out of that game? So many mentioned that as the key battle in this one. Will Massey and company had held him quiet in the first half, but he's come to life so far here, though Northwestern forces a 4th down try from the 18-yard line. Big 4th down here.
Here you think quarterback run, I would be to the left.
Coming that way where they've stacked up all the blockers. He's got the first down. He's got his first touchdown of the night. A rushes TD. The first rushing TD of the night. And it belongs to Aaron Brand Jr. Well, all 3 touchdowns, the 2 Northwestern scores, and his toss to Donovan Murph had been through the skies. But he takes this one home on a 4th down conversion, turned 6 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they had a power look to the left. You knew it was going to start that way. If he bounced it outside, which he did, it gave him an easy opportunity to score.
On for the extra point, Tucker Williams, who had a 26-yard field goal earlier, will now look to tie things up at 17 apiece. And the left-footed Tucker Williams punches it right through. It is a brand new ball game at the South Carolina 5A Division II State Championship game in Orangeburg. A.J. Brand in the scorebook with a TD now.
I am glad I'm here because it's really helping me.
I have a lot of things I want to do. I like being in charge of others. My confidence really built up stuff here.
This place has showed me, like, it's not good to run from your education.
It's a really great place. You got people here that are willing to help you.
It's something that's going to get you through every day. It's just something you have to have. And they're making it possible for me because if I wasn't here, I would not be in high school.
Another battle for supremacy in South Carolina, this time the 5A Division II ranks. Defense wins championships, so they say. We're going to select the defensive player of the game. Brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. It's hard to say relax when you're a fan and you're wanting a state championship, when you're a player and you're wanting one. But they say relax, you're with Founders. This was the reaction and the connection between the guy who wears jersey number 1 and the fan base for Irmo after A.J. Brand scored his first rushing touchdown of the night.
Yeah, he's a special player. He's going to be a great signee for Virginia Tech. We wish him the best.
You know, we talk about relax your Founders and the defensive play of the game and all that. Now, how relaxing can be difficult. Excruciating for these fans. The players sometimes have a little bit of control as to what happens, but the fans, they just have to sit back, roll with the punches, and you don't see a lot of relaxation in that category. At least you won't for the next quarter plus now. No relaxing in this pile. How about the way those big bodies continue to move things forward all the way to the 25? Every inch of real estate a battle right now in this state championship game. Let's look back at that drive, Coach. 9 plays, 68 yards, and the 18-yard, don't forget it now, 4th down run for Brand.
And it looks like Irmo's decided, let's try to run the ball. Let's see what we can do, and let's get the ball in our best athlete's hand as much as possible in the running game. And that happens to be the quarterback.
Now, you saw them stack this side up with blockers. The effort to get the first down on 4th down, it paid a whole lot more than that. It was 7 up on the board. 1st and 10 for Finley Polk. His turn. Short, high percentage pass. Completed. Nichols has it. Kyle Mitchell was there on the coverage. He maybe want to send a little message at the end of that. Both these players, everybody looking for any advantage they can come up with right now.
That's right. That's right. They do a little bit of talking out there.
It comes with it, right?
Hopefully not too much to cause you a penalty.
You just want to hold it down. Here comes 2nd down and 3. Over over the left side it goes. And they will stack Gordon Miles up in there to slow things. Jaden Bryant, he is the leader on this defensive front, and he shines once more to force the third down.
Yeah. Key play here. Irmo makes a stop here. They've kind of swung momentum here early in the third quarter.
3rd and 1. Plenty of room to weave through and find a first down for Zymir Gordon-Miles. Will Lou Gray opportunity school movement of the chains.
Excellent blocking on the right side of the offensive line for Northwestern there for that key first down.
You know, he's quietly putting together some key runs tonight for Northwestern. Over 50 yards on just shy of 10 carries. Back to the sky as it goes. Back to a familiar target. There's Knox again. He takes some hard knocks at the end of this. Hangs on. It's a Will Lou Gray first down.
He does, and it's amazing accuracy by this quarterback. He gets the ball to the proper places to give them the best chance. Probably the best quarterback I've seen throwing seam routes and just splitting zones and finding open spots.
Yeah, make you want to travel to Bowling Springs, North Carolina in the future and see him
on the defense
with Gardner Webb.
That penalty is declined. Result of the play. First down.
Well, they called interference, but it was of little consequence. The first down was already there on the 17th pass completed tonight by Finley Polk. He is 17 of 20 for 214 yards, and there's a lot of football left.
And on the back of the quarterback's helmet, might be all players, it says win today. I'm sure that was their fault in this game.
Well, they've been winning every day. This undefeated Northwestern team, if they win today, will have capped off what would be a perfect 14-0 campaign for a sixth state title. They are 5-time state champs, 89, 93, 10, 13, and 15. Played for it in 22. A lot of these players were on that 22 team. Coming back, looking to close the deal this time around. And in search of the lead once again on this drive. Got his shirt tail, but can you eventually bring the back down? Not until about 5 yards are secured and it creates a manageable third down.
Third down, key play here. Again, he's been so effective in the passing game, they may decide to throw. They've got a lot of options here.
Here's a sophomore Gordon Miles getting Northwestern a little closer to the sticks. Back his direction. Well, this is going to be just short, it would seem, judging from where the officials running out. There's going to be a 4th down coming. 4th and maybe a yard. See exactly where they spot this. Decision time coming as to what play you call here. Obviously, this portion of the field, Northwestern going for it. Let's see what they decide to go with. Little screen far side. That was caught, but stacked up shy of the marker. Now, forward progress going to get this close to a first down, but, Coach, at initial glance, it looks short.
It was an excellent play by the defensive back. When he first threw it, I said this is going to be an easy first down, but the secondary covered in a hurry, made a great tackle.
Well, and working his way around a block initially to do so. All kind of credit belongs to Jamar Grissett, who stepped up and made the play. They are going to measure this because, again, it's not where he was driven back to. It's the progress that he received forward, and that was close to the marker. It's a game of inches, and he is shy. Irmo with a stop on 4th down to give the Yellow Jackets the football back.
Excellent play by the defensive back. Most time you think in 4th and 1 or something, you're just going to run the ball. You threw a quick screen, and the defensive back made a great play.
1:47 to go in the third, and the crowd making the short trip down from just the other side of Columbia right now in celebration mode.
They are, but we got a lot of football to play, so we'll see what's going to happen in this quarter and the whole final quarter.
Coach, I know you had a chance, if folks weren't with us in the first half, to spend some time at practice this week with both of these teams. You were impressed in how differently yet effectively they both handled the business of getting ready for a state championship environment. Here's the first down play. I want to dive into that just a little bit in terms of the style of these two teams. First things first, though, how about this catch? Able to keep his feet in bounds and reel it in is Malik Miller. That's going to be a movement of the chains. First down, Irmo. This is worth another look. Walk us through this.
Quarterback rolled out. Receiver, we couldn't see the final part of the play. All you need is 1 foot down in high school. He's got them both. He's got them both down.
How about Irmo when you visited practice this week? No doubt you saw this kind of energy. What impressed you most about their style?
Irmo had a loose. Their players seem to really enjoy practice, and sometimes late in the year it's hard to get players to enjoy practice, but they were very loose practice. The players were really having fun at practice.
They look like they're having fun now. That whole community is. Irmo with a spark here in the third. Number 3 providing a great bit of it. Here is Miller again. He's got another Will Lou Gray opportunity school first down, and he works them a little deeper down the field and certainly now into Northwestern territory. Malik Miller coming to life.
A little fake to the running back, a little reverse on toss to Miller, makes an excellent play.
Well, think about this. He makes that catch on the sideline a moment ago in which he keeps his feet in bounds, now explodes to the far side of the field. Miller all over the place right now. Northwestern's got to be thinking, how many number 3s are there out there?
That's right. And a lot of this has come about because Irmo's established a running game here in the second half.
That's a great point, Coach. And it starts with A.J. Brand, who rushed for a touchdown a bit ago. Going to hand this off into the thick of things. And this is the kind of stack up we saw from Northwestern's defensive fronts early. And it works out here to put them behind the sticks on second down. Final minute of the third quarter in a 17-all contest. And 17, the number of carries for Brand so far. That number of yards really ticking up here in the third. He's now closing in on a 100-yard night.
And he's rushed, as we said earlier, he's rushed for 1,862 yards, 11.5 per carry. So he's going to get his share of carrying the ball.
Really upping the total in this third quarter. Gives this off. A little bit of a hole there, but Northwestern closes it quickly after about a 3-yard gain. Third down and 7 will likely occur to begin the fourth quarter. Final seconds. Roll off the third quarter game clock. Dead even with nothing settled between Irmo and Northwestern in the 5A Division II title game. You're not going anywhere. We know that. We certainly aren't. Another thrilling South Carolina State Championship finish is right around the corner.
When I was growing up, I was taught, if you make a promise, you keep it. And for 45 years, that's what we've been doing at A&I Fire and Water Restoration. From Wilmington to Florence, from Myrtle Beach to Charleston. When disaster has struck, we've made promises to tens of thousands of families to turn their houses to homes again. We take pride in keeping our promises. It's what we do. It's who we are.
A&I Fire and Water Restoration.
We at the Stanley Law Group believe that we are the premier trucking accident law firm in South Carolina. We have the experience, the ability, the knowledge to pursue and to execute and to resolve these types of cases on behalf of our clients. I would recommend that you pick up the phone and you call us. At the Stanley Law Group, justice begins here.
Going to college for esports feels amazing. Growing up, it's something I never thought would happen. My family never thought it would happen. And then within 2.5 years, here I am.
He's actually a madman whenever it comes to playing on the sticks. You know, he's going to be the first one that pursues this into an academic career.
Me getting an esports scholarship could show other students that it's possible for them too, as long as they put their mind to it and put some effort into it.
Whether you spend your Friday nights at District 3 Stadium in Rock Hill or at W.C. Hawkins Stadium in Irmo, this is what you dream of. Going into the fourth quarter with a chance to win a state championship in South Carolina. 17-all as we begin the fourth with a third down for Irmo. Inside screen. Very close to the marker. You know, this looks almost like what we just saw from Northwestern at almost the exact same spot on the field with a fourth down and what looks to be one coming again. This is a well-designed screen to set it up.
They'll be close. Again, you better, I would think the quarterback's going to get the ball here in some form on a running play.
Happened to end the third. That's how Northwestern could be going this way on the same spot. And now it's the same scenario for Irmo to begin the fourth. And Irmo up to the line. Remember, it was a fourth down conversion turned touchdown for Brand. The most recent Irmo score on the other end of the field. He's going to carry it again here. Looking for the same result. Finds another gear. Same song, second verse. Aaron Brand Jr. gives Irmo its first lead of the night.
He ended up doing a great job. The formation was loaded to the left. I'm sure Northwestern's thinking, here comes the power play over here, or at least a quarterback run that way. He faked it and just basically outran everybody to his right.
Well, and think about how much that was set up by the previous run, which went to the side where everyone was stacked up. This time around, A.J. Brand, the Virginia Tech commit. We talked about the father-son connection throughout the night. Dad and son with something to celebrate here as they have claimed the lead in the early stages of the fourth period in the 5A Division II state title game. For the first time tonight, Irmo out front. Hey, back-to-back fourth down touchdowns for the Irmo Yellow Jackets. Stinger in place, early fourth.
I'm Dr. Timothy Gregory with Coastal Wound Care. Are you living with a diabetic or chronic wound? A wound that won't heal can lead to serious problems, even amputation. At Coastal Wound Care, we provide the most up-to-date treatments, including negative pressure, compression therapies, and skin substitutes. Call Coastal Wound Care now and start healing.
To find out more or visit athletehealthcare.com.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
State to South Carolina voters for your overwhelming participation in the November general election. More than 75% of voters cast a ballot in the election.
Are you experiencing diabetic or chronic wounds? At Coastal Wound Care, your healing is our priority. Our physician-run private practice allows us to prescribe the most up-to-date wound therapy, offer rapid appointments, and ensure you see the same caregivers at each visit. Call Coastal Wound Care now and start healing.
Irmo out front, 2 fourth down conversions, more than what was needed for A.J. Brand as he rushed them both to the end zone from distance. 24-17 our score. Stay tuned for the conclusion of the game. We're going to have all the superlatives handed out. One of those is the Founders Federal Credit Union Defensive Player of the Game. Founders says, relax, you're with Founders. And one of the many honors as a part of the state championship environment. Boy, the cap play to these last two drives for Irmo, really attention-getting, Coach.
Yes, the quarterback run has taken over this quarter. I think they probably went in at halftime and said, let's just let one of our best athletes, maybe the best athlete, handle the ball as much as he can.
Well, that's enough to make W.C. Hawkins proud. He might have given you a high five after that. You had a great story on that.
Well, he was our superintendent, a wonderful man who supported athletics as well as all of our teachers in our school district. And whenever you went by him heading up to the press box, you wanted to make sure the team was doing well.
Said he's responsible for the Stinger logo, did some stuff with your Chapin crew that was consequential, that's still around today. So
Ryan had a great influence on athletics in Lexington, Richland District 5.
Yeah, you think about the history of these programs. They are celebrating a 6-play, 71-yard drive. What were your takeaways from that most recent score?
I think they said, let's let our quarterback take over the game. Let's just see what he can do running the ball. We'll control the game that way. Let's see. And it certainly worked that way.
Yeah, you see who's number one in the program, number one in the hearts of the Irmo faithful as we look at the Palmetto Pride scoring summary from his most recent touchdown. 2 scores tonight on the ground for Brand now. Northwestern back to work. You know, this is a Northwestern team, Coach, that I'm going to give you those numbers one more time. In the playoffs has scored 49, 35, and 58. 142 points in the playoffs. 656 points on the year coming in. Held to just 17 so far with 10:54 to play.
That's, you know, when you're averaging close to 50 a game and you're rolling, they're probably saying, well, but Irmo's doing a good job. You're running the ball on the other side, you're keeping that clock rolling, heating up some of those valuable minutes you'd have on offense.
Second down, Polk got a man open. Got a man wide open, and down the near side goes Vance. He'll cut and eventually work his way inside the 20, finally out of bounds at the 18. It only takes a spark for this Northwestern offense. That's a lot more than a Stewart first down. He has him in the doctor's implants red zone, and this is vintage Finley Polk to Cam Vance.
He's amazing. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, watching him in practice, he's a very knowledgeable quarterback. They get plays designed to help him, but he's got to make the reads himself. People don't always run the same coverage by any means.
You think about all the history of football in Rock Hill, South Carolina, whether it be Northwestern or Rock Hill, South Point coming along and changing that region of the state as well. So much built into that community's pedigree from a football standpoint. It's foundational. You see the fight back from Northwestern right here. Polk has to try to dance out of trouble. He will not be able to do so. Finally gathered up. We've called his name time and again tonight, and Jaden Bryant is there once more.
Again, very good pressure, but the quarterback made a smart decision not try to force something there. He knew what down it was. It wasn't like he had to have a throw. Irmo had great pressure there.
Third down, 15. The post tipped by one Northwestern player, nearly caught by another, but it is incomplete.
Yeah,
that had a couple of chances to work.
It did, but if it's tipped from an offensive player and it's not touched by a defensive guy, it would not be counted as a completion.
Take a look at this. It's
a
matter
of... It looked like an Irmo player may have tipped it.
I was going to say, you're right.
He might have tipped it into the other Northwestern receiver's hands.
But think about if he reels this in and it was, in fact, tipped by Irmo instead. That would have been one of the memorable touchdowns in the history of South Carolina championship football. This one of the memorable fourth downs. Going for it. Northwestern has Polk step up. Same type play. Different result. This one is caught for a first down. Somehow caught for a first down by Daniel Caldwell.
It's amazing. He finds the seam. I think his college program's going to love working with him.
Yeah, you think about the future for all these individuals. Going to toss one out near side. Did he get it across the pylon? Yes! Vance! Touchdown on another toss on target from Finley Polk.
I tell you, it's remarkable. Two excellent teams here. They're going to fight it out to the bitter end.
Finley Polk must love this end of the field. Somewhat quiet in the third quarter, Northwestern. He likes the Bulldogs in the end zone. Remember, he's going to be playing for the running Bulldogs of Gardner-Webb.
Maybe he just likes that name anyway.
What a future he has in this sport. And what a drive he just engineered to even things up pending the extra point from Fish. He's a big fish on Northwestern's campus. Matthew Fish puts it through the uprights. And a tremendous performance from Polk tonight, capped off with a stretch of the football from Vance. Evens up the 5A Division II title game again.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
One of these two storied programs going to write the next chapter in their history. We talked a little bit of Irmo history coming back from break last time. You think about Northwestern as an NFL feeder, and the city of Rock Hill for that matter. But from Northwestern alone, Jeff Burris, football coach and former NFL player, Jonathan Joseph, Patterson, think about it, Cordarrelle Patterson. Think about Derek Ross, Mason Rudolph, Rick Sanford, Benjamin Watson, who has the Super Bowl championship with the New England Patriots, Justin Worley. The list goes on and on, Coach, of the NFL talent that Northwestern has provided to the nation over the years. And we're seeing a guy that has a chance to certainly play beyond Saturdays with the way he's performing tonight. What an effort on that last scoring drive from Finley Polk. He may be the latest to put his name in Northwestern lore. He just engineered a drive of beauty. 7 plays, 79 yards on the Palmetto Pride scoring summer.
He makes great decisions with football. You can tell he's well coached. They have a plan that they're following. So impressed with decision making that he allows their offense to move at every time.
Coach, here we are, 9:12 to go in the football game. Nothing decided between these two teams. So many thought that it was going to be right down to the wire between these two. And I know you had one Irmo key to the game that has come to mind of late.
Yeah, the Irmo coach, Coach Brown, this week said we don't want to make it a scoring battle. I guess he felt like that maybe Northwestern could score a little bit quicker, even though he has his son, a great athlete. But they generally have mixed up the run and the pass, and it looks like Irmo's trying to use the clock as much as they can to try to keep it away from Northwestern.
And again, a Northwestern team that has averaged a 50-6 score against its opponents all season long, 50-16, I should say, score against its opponents all season long. Into a low-scoring affair right now to some degree, and you speak of the son of the Irmo head coach. He delivers one on target here to his favorite target. Murph reels in another. That's going to move the chains with 9:03 to play.
Yes, they've been running the ball well, and he comes out and completes the first pass in this drive.
And Northwestern came into the game. We told you all the gaudy numbers, 13-0. Irmo at 13-1. However, the lone loss was to that Dutch Fork team that claimed its 3rd straight state championship yesterday. So these two teams unbeaten against 5A Division II opponents this year, settling it between themselves across 9 minutes and change. Able to elude the first tackler. Work his way forward for another Stewart Law Office's first down is Amir White. He's the complement when you're keying on A.J. Brand.
Yes, and again, he's averaging 8.3 yards a carry, so the quarterback averaging over 11 and the running back over 8. You've got 2 serious threats in the running game.
Another Stewart Law Office's first down. One moment can change your life. That's a reminder from Stewart Law Offices, and they are there for you. You can visit them at stewartlawoffices.net today. There's these two teams looking for that one moment that would change their life in a positive way in terms of a state championship moment. Who's going to have it? A lot of time left to settle that, and the big bodies stack up just below that South Carolina State logo. It's going to create a 3rd and about, or 2nd down, I should say, and about 7 coming up here after the first down gain of about 3 or 4 yards. Well, the band is here. You got all the pageantry you would want. There's a Northwestern band. We were walking back up to the booth and ran into a traffic jam that was the Irmo band a little bit earlier. So all the pageantry you would want surrounding a high school football championship as well tonight.
That's true, and it's great for both communities. There's a lot of pride in both. I know Irmo has been a long time since the state championship.
Looking for the first since 1980. Big rush from that Northwestern front. Visions of what we saw early in the game from the Northwestern defensive front. Will Massey and company celebrate the sack of A.J. Brand.
It looked like they brought a little extra pressure off the corner, and Irmo didn't account for it. And the quarterback got caught from the blind side.
Mason Greer in there as well. We haven't called his name as often tonight as some of the others, but he's been as consequential. Will Massey, first man on the scene. It creates a 3rd down and 15. Line to make is the 43-yard line on the other side of the field. Guess who? He's going to be drugged down from behind near what was the original line of scrimmage when the sticks were set at the 47. And that's going to create a 4th down and about 9.
Wouldn't think a fake punt would come out here, but they work on a lot of different fakes. And with a great athlete as your punter, anything can happen.
Tie game, still a lot of time left at 6:28, but you said it. Everything on the table when you have a couple of coaches trying to make a splash and win the state championship. For Irmo, it would be the first time since 1980. For Northwestern, it would be the first since 15. And a different narrative than what happened in 22 when they were last here. It will be punted. It will work its way into the end zone. A touchback, and Northwestern will take over with 6:07 to play. Finley Polk tonight up over 300 yards passing. And look at the completion and attempts ratio to this point.
And I want to go back to the previous punt. It was a high snap. The athletic quarterback, who's a punter, made the catch and got the punt off under pressure. We were coaching at Irmo. Somerville did the same thing to us. A high snap, and the punter jumped up and caught it. But I think he was also a great athlete for them and gave them a chance to not have a block punt.
Well, you saw the numbers for the quarterback Polk just a moment ago. You think about how great athletes impact the game. 2 quarterbacks in this game, Coach, that have impacted these seasons beyond words.
And a little bit different ways. Maybe Northwestern more with the passing game. Irmo a balance with the quarterback running and also throwing. But both great players for their teams. And obviously they understand the game, so they've been coached well.
Polk on 2nd down. He's going to turn and toss it near side. Jackets swarm, but it appears as if Vance was already beyond the marker. His forward progress will give him a 1st down. Inadvertent collision at the end of that, but Vance is no worse for the wear. They do move the chains. It is a Stewart Law Office's 1st down with 5:38 and ticking downward to play. Boy, every moment counts now.
And Northwestern does a great job of spreading the field with their wide receivers. If you look at the receiver at the top, he's only a couple yards from the sideline. So they make you cover every yard of it.
Polk just going to put some air underneath this, send it into his bench area out of play. This is a quarterback, if we've seen anything tonight, who understands the game of football on a level unusual.
Yeah, it's pretty special to watch that. Well coached, and he doesn't try to make them impossible plays. There was a good example. He just threw it away when it was covered. He didn't have a chance to win.
If you weren't with us early, he completed his first 12 passes tonight. His first 12 right on target. And you saw his overall numbers a moment ago as Finley Polk tries to lead Northwestern a little closer to a state championship for the first time.
And there, I have a feeling it was a checkoff because Irmo only had 3 guys in the box, and the advantage was a Northwestern in the running game.
Yeah, it goes back to that point you were just making, the quarterback and the way he handles each situation.
He does a good job, and I'm sure they give him some freedom in that.
3rd down. What's available in the playbook right here?
Well, a little bit of everything. They've been very successful with the short passes. Great one-hand catch. He's still on his feet.
You'll be very successful when a guy like Vance reels one in this way. And he's still loose inside the red zone. Coach, you said it. A one-handed catch by Cameron Vance to ignite the Northwestern faithful.
And you look at his face on the television screen, it looks like no big deal. That's just like practice. He's probably made a lot of them like that.
Well, keep in mind, this comes when Northwestern's looking for a third down conversion to keep the drive alive. I'll take that, says Vance. Also takes the big lick, makes another man miss, and is off to the races down the sideline.
Like I told you early in the broadcast, when I went and watched them practice, I couldn't tell who their best receiver was. All of them look so good to me.
He's going to be the beneficiary of a face mask at the end of this play as well. When that one, if it is not a highlight moment for Northwestern, if it is not a highlight moment around the country, it'd be a missed opportunity for others to enjoy. What a play by Vance as Polk put it in the spot where he could catch it. Polk after the penalty. Tosses it to Nichols. He's got a couple. There was a face mask at the end of that. So Northwestern in business, 1st and goal. Now make it 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line after that toss to Nichols. Northwestern trailed for the first time a bit ago, equalized. They've led for the majority of the game. Looking back corner of the near side. In the end zone, incomplete, looking for Vance again.
And that was a drill when I watched their practice from about the 8-yard line. They had buckets, trash buckets in the corner of the end zone, and quarterbacks were throwing ball after ball on passes like that to the back pylon.
Vance had perhaps the catch of the weekend, not just the night a moment ago, on 3rd down. Here is another 3rd down. It comes with 4:10 to play. This time 3rd and goal. Northwestern pauses to look to the sideline for the call.
Getting a check from the sideline.
Well, they want to talk this over. Paige Wofford, the 6-year head coach of the Northwestern Trojans, wanting to pull his troops to the side and make sure they have just the right call on this 3rd down play. Take us inside the huddle, Coach.
Now what they do, they have the little tablet where they're looking at different things as far as their game plan. It used to be a play sheet or something you use, and now they got tablets where I guess they dial in and say, okay, we've done this and this and this. Let's just make sure we get a field goal out of this. Don't try to force. And the quarterback's been so smart with his decision making. I don't see him making a mistake here, but on most levels you'd say don't force a pass. Let's make sure we get a field goal out of this.
Take us inside the huddle on the other side. If you're Irmo and you're talking about this defensive moment on 3rd down, what's your encouragement to your players?
Big play here. If we can hold them to a field goal, we can win this game. Don't give them a touchdown.
Those are the coaches' communication on both sides. You saw the body language from Coach Paige Wofford, one of the highly regarded, highly sought after young coaches in the state of South Carolina. His Northwestern Trojans on 3rd down, firing one into the end zone. That's caught by Vance.
Flag.
Remarkably again, but there is a flag down. Northwestern celebrating a Rush's touchdown. We'll see if it stands. It appears as if the flag is against Irmo, and Vance has 2 remarkable catches on this drive to put Northwestern ahead, if that's the case. And boy, judging from the calm demeanor of Paige Wofford, you would want to believe the touchdown will stand.
I'm guessing it might be defensive unsportsmanlike marked on the kickoff.
Well, it's as if you were there in the conversation. It is against the defense. It will be marked off on the kick, and Northwestern is back out front, 30-24. You know, were it not for the prior catch, that may have been Vance's most remarkable catch of the night. Tremendous connection between Polk and Vance. Twice on this drive, both times on 3rd down. You know, a couple of 4th down scores that are memorable for Irmo, a couple of 3rd down conversions that are memorable on this drive for Northwestern. Matthew Fish's extra point is good. It is 31-24 on this toss. Walk us through it.
Well, it looked like a double slant route, and he hit the outside receiver on the slant. Both receivers were slanting. Perfect spot.
Vance on the high point, able to stretch his body back, secure this.
Great protection by the offensive line. They've done a great job of keeping Irmo's defense off the quarterback.
And that's against the leader in that secondary for Irmo that Vance goes head-to-head with, that Polk is able to live it in there. What a state championship game that young man has had.
I tell you, it's hard to play any better than that. But you know what? There's another Superman on the other team, too.
Yeah, what we saw last night. Yeah, you got it. What we saw last night, you know, you had Messiah Jackson, and you had obviously Sellers on one side. On the other side, you had Cutter Woods, who, you know, was just one of the Mission football guys. Just a tremendous effort. We've seen so many playmakers go head-to-head. This is another night. It's going to be hard to see one of these teams walk away without a championship when you consider what the playmakers have done. That drive went 80 yards on 8 plays. That's our Palmetto Pride scoring summary. And Cam Vance closing it out.
What would scare me now, Irmo's leaving the wide side of the field wide open. If the kicker kicks it across to the left, there's a lot of room that deep guy's got to cover to get this ball.
You hear Coach. He's already on to the next play, seeing what the opportunity might be. It is going to be kicked into the end zone, and that is a touchback as our low country crawl spaces kickoff sails beyond that Bulldogs designation. 4:05 to play. Northwestern back out front. What do you expect to see on this Irmo drive? I think I know the answer to this question.
I think the guy that wears the Superman under his T-shirt will probably try to take over the game. Whether they do it with the running, and if it comes down, I think Murph, number 6, will be involved. This is a key pass play.
He's, of course, referencing the Gatorade Player of the Year, the coach's kid, Aaron Brand Jr., A.J. Brand, the Virginia Tech commitment, has it in his hands now. After the future Bulldog just put his team up in the land of the Bulldogs, talking about Polk. And how about this defensive front? There's Will Massey again. Will Massey has had a monster night defensively for Northwestern.
He's done a great job. Sometimes when you have such an offensive team that's averaging close to 50 points a game, you forget about your defense. Those guys up front have done a great job of trying to control Irmo, especially Brandon quarterback. But they are a very good defensive team. You don't win championships just with offense. You better be strong on defense, and also Northwestern had an excellent kicking game this year.
Fadden, who you saw there along the way, Mullen, who we've talked about, everybody on that front, they've been tremendous. You saw White maybe nursing a little something there worth keeping an eye on. Here's a deep shot, a bit too much air underneath it for it to be tracked down, and it is incomplete.
He was behind him. He was 2 steps behind him. It could have been a touchdown on that if it's not quite as much air on it.
Singletary, 10th grader, was the target. Boy, the body language from A.J. Brand telling you everything you need to know. Now those clad in purple, having made the trip down from District 3 Stadium in Rock Hill, trying to get in behind this defense with the lead, 3:13 to play, and a 3rd down. But if you've learned anything from this second half, 3rd downs and 4th downs hard to stop with these two offenses. Finding some room, outrunning everybody, moving the chains, moving his team into Northwestern territory at the 31-yard line. We'll repeat ourselves. 3rd downs and 4th downs are hard to stop with these playmakers.
He is. He was rolling to his right, got a little pressure, and had to break back against the grain, and he's off to the right.
Well, he scored on 2 4th downs. The last 2 touchdowns for Irmo. He converts on a 3rd down here to flip the field after Northwestern used that particular down to march practically the length of the field and take the lead. So in striking distance now, Irmo looks for the equalizing score. Handoff. Nowhere to hide. Dowling was right there waiting.
Great job of containing, not letting him bounce outside.
DJ Knox Dowling. said, I don't think so. Gathered up, Don Jones Jr. and the Northwestern D has Irmo behind the sticks. Well, these are the moments, 2 and change to play, where state championships are won. What a thriller we have tonight in the South Carolina 5A Division II final. Timeout being taken. Irmo going to discuss it with 1:50 to play. Well, Coach, recapping it for those who may just be joining us, Northwestern forced an early turnover, scored quickly to take a 7-0 lead. It was 7-7 at the end of the first quarter because Brand found Donovan Murph to equalize. Northwestern took the lead 14-7, but Irmo kicked a field goal at the end of the half. Those 14 points in the first half, a couple of touchdown passes from Polk, who was perfect for the first half, both of them to Knox. But after a 26-yard field goal from Tucker Williams, it was 14-10 at halftime. Irmo scored in the third quarter, limiting Northwestern to a field goal. Everything knotted up once more. And now we find ourselves, after we were tied at 24 apiece in the early stages of this fourth quarter, with Northwestern leading at 31-24 and Irmo marching second down from behind the sticks. That's how we arrived here for those joining us for the thrilling conclusion. Toss to the end zone. Irmo touchdown. For all the work on the ground, it is Murph through the skies one more time. That's where the Jackets live. And a Rush's touchdown.
Northwestern is playing man-to-man. I'm sure that was their best cover guy against Irmo's best receiver.
Well, you know one thing about Jackets, Coach. They may camp out underground, but they do their work above it. And you take a look at what happened here with a tremendous toss. And for all the talk about how Aaron Brand Jr. is such a threat with the wheels, Aaron Brand Jr. just reminded you what he can also do, putting it on target to Donovan Murph. The extra point so critical here. And the left-footed kicker, Williams, punches it through. All knotted up at 31 with 1:43 on the clock. How about this catch?
Excellent. Caught the ball high. As you mentioned, Brand threw 28 touchdown passes in the year, go along with his 25 rushes. So he knows how to get a team in the end zone.
What a football game we have witnessed in this one. Nothing decided. With 1:43 on the clock after 80 yards. It's just nothing to go 80 yards for either of these quarterbacks and either of these teams. 80 yards on 5 plays, and it ends with the 33-yard connection between Brand and Murph. And there's 1:43 to go. I know you're keeping an eye on turnovers at this point, and I know you're pointing out special teams and their impact at this point. It's there for the taking, and all those X factors are now in play, Coach.
It's true, and probably Northwestern has a little bit of advantage in the kicking game. So if it comes down to perhaps a long field goal attempt here, if they are able to move the ball, it could come down to that deciding this game.
Both true in that department so far tonight. Northwestern will have the initial crack at it in a tie game with 1:43 to go. Return man. Spurgeon going to bring it up across the 20 to the 22-yard line. And it is in the hands once more of Finley Polk, who, if you're wondering about it in this moment, is 28 of 34 for 369 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's got a long of 55 tonight. And all of that pales in comparison to the stories they would tell if he leads a drive right now that ends in a state championship for Northwestern. Over the middle, pulled out of the sky by Nichols. and a Northwestern first down at the 41.
Went to empty backfield, 5-receiver set, so they can really spread you out.
90 seconds to play.
Irmo has a hurt player. Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, it looks like that's Blocker who's down. He's a key piece of the Irmo secondary. Been trying to cover up these receivers throughout the night. And the training staff giving real attention to Matthew Blocker. Certainly hope all is well here. In the midst of all the excitement relating to the closing stanza of this championship game, both sides now with their focus on the concern for Irmo's Matthew Blocker. You know, the kicker's like everybody else, kind of lingering around with 1,000 thoughts in the mind right now. Matthew Fish wondering what the future may hold for him, but right now everything halted with the concern for Matthew Blocker, who is down on the 40-yard line following this first down play.
The stadium is almost dead silent now in respect to the fallen player.
Well, here's the moment where nobody wears purple and gold. Nobody wears black and gold. Everybody in unison as one community here in the Palmetto State, hoping for good news on the other side of this break we will take while they tend to the injured Irmo Yellow Jacket.
Christmas.
Hurry, they're going to be up soon.
When families and communities come together in the spirit of peace on earth and goodwill towards men.
Operation Silent Night and Still on the Fence. Okay, we're ready.
At Ingalls, we know that Christmas isn't just a holiday. It's a feeling to embrace all year long. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
I am glad I'm here because it's really helping me.
I have a lot of things I want to do.
I like being in charge of others.
My confidence has really built up since I've been here.
This place has showed me, like, it's not good to run from your education.
It's a really great place. You got people here that are willing to help you.
It's something that's going to get you through every day. It's just something you have to have. And they're making it possible for me, because if I wasn't here, I would not be in high school.
Well, as you saw just prior to the break, an injured Irmo Yellow Jacket, and just as you return to Orangeburg, we see the training staff standing Matthew Blocker to his feet. That is a welcome sight, Coach, because everybody takes a deep breath in a moment like this.
Oh, yeah, and we're not sure. We wish him the best, and for all of his teammates, too, who are feeling it for him.
Well, good news for Matthew Blocker as he is up under his own power. A little help being provided as he works his way off, but he stood on his own, which is a great, great sign. Well, this is the final state championship moment of this weekend of champions. You can see been a good weekend already for Clinton, Abbeville, Dutch Fork, South Florence, Oceanside Academy. Which one of these two teams will add their name to the list of champions for 2024? We're going to find out. 90 seconds separating us from the conclusion. The ball in the hands of Finley Polk, who just secured a first down on a toss to Nichols. He goes to Vance this time. That's to midfield. It'll be at the 50 with 1:21 to play.
They keep finding open receivers. Quarterback's amazing composure. A great plan for him as well.
This is where we always take a moment to say, you're a champion for getting here, and these two teams have played like it. You've either won a lower state championship or an upper state championship. To see this moment, his upper state champions with the football and a chance to claim the crown. Second down and short. He's set up to the near side. Nichols, he's got a head of steam. That's a first down, and then some into Irmo territory. 1:16 to play.
Yeah, time's not a problem here. They're so efficient in their passing game. They probably have a chance for 7 more plays or more.
Time, if you want to talk about it, becomes a factor on the Irmo side of things from a how much time will you have to answer scenario if Northwestern completes it. It certainly is a methodical march for the Trojans right now as they're inside the 35 to the 33 on this catch. Nichols again.
And the thing that's frustrating if you're a defensive lineman, Northwestern's Polk gets the ball out so quickly, you don't get to him. And they're spending a lot of energy trying to get to him. But Northwestern has them spread out with a 5-receiver set, and it's just kind of a nickel and dime right now.
2nd and 1. Sitting down on the left hash, getting away from a couple of potential tacklers and making a lot more of this is Jaden Nichols. He's into the Doctor's Implants red zone at the 15-yard line. First down Northwestern. They're going to place the football down at the 16. And there is a flag down just ahead of this play. Under a half minute to go with Northwestern going in potentially for the score to settle it. Here's the determination on that most recent flag which stopped this play. Crunch time in the 5A Division II state championship game.
Let's see what this call is, because Irmo was trying to rush on another player.
Well, they ended up flagging Irmo for 12 on the field. A substitution infraction that will march Northwestern a bit closer. 29 seconds to play in a 31-all 5A Division II title game. Polk inside the 10 to the 9. Couple of timeouts you can see on the bottom of your screen after both teams took one earlier in the half. This winding on down to 15 seconds to play.
Setting it up for a timeout and kick a field goal is what I'm guessing.
Down to 5. And with 2 seconds on the game clock, Paige Wofford and company call timeout. You saw Jaden Nichols punch his fist, pumps his fist in the air. He, Vance, Polk doing their job to engineer the drive that will put Matthew Fish in position to win the state championship for Northwestern. We told you he was already a big fish on Northwestern's campus when you consider he's perfect from this distance on the year. Coach, this is a different kick, though. This one comes with a state crown.
And I tell you what the coach is telling him right now. It's just a long extra point. You've made 73 for 73 extra points in the regular season. Just another extra point. Just knock it through there. This is what you practice all year.
Well, the hopes of those, at least the ones that wear purple and gold in Rock Hill, South Carolina, resting on the foot of Matthew Fish. 86, set to kick this for what will be a 27-yard kick. 86 trying to get it done from 27. If he stays perfect from this distance, Northwestern has a perfect season. 1 second on the clock and timeout before he gets a chance to try it. They will ice the kicker with an Irmo timeout.
Most kickers I know that wouldn't bother them. They don't understand what the other team is trying to do.
Coach, you've seen this scenario so many times along the way in this sport. But the drama as high as it gets. A tie ball game, one team with a chance on one snap and one kick to settle the entire season right here.
It should be like this. And two great teams. I know one's going to be disappointed. But again, it's not over yet. You can believe if Irmo has a special block, they'll be coming after this with everything they got.
Let's talk for just a moment about the drive Northwestern just put together. In crunch time, 2-minute drill, Finley Polk, if this kick is good, puts the finishing touches on a storybook night.
Exactly, and so composed, and I've just been impressed with the different receivers he's found. It's not like Well, on third down, he's going to find a go-to guy.
Not much wind to deal with. And again, this for 86 from 27 out for a Northwestern championship. Timeout taken again. You got them. Might as well burn them all if you're Irmo.
Well, just looking at their alignment, and maybe the game has changed, Northwestern's linemen are about a foot apart. We used to always think foot to foot on this and step inside, but I'm sure the game has changed a great deal since I've been involved. But so they're leaving some open gaps in there.
I go back to Paige Walford's comment to us prior to the game. We talked to him about, tell us about the run, what it's meant to get here. Bring the community back for Northwestern to a championship again in 22, but now going to try and secure the win here in 24. He said, every time we make a run like this, it just means I get to coach there another year. That's the expectation in that community. They've won championships in 89, 93, 2010, 2013, and 2015. Trying to add 2024 to the mix with this kick.
And quickly to that, Jason, I heard one saying one time, I don't want to be coach of the year, I just want to be back next year. So that's what he's happy about. He might be both.
Both these guys are sure of that. 86 from 27 for the title.
Right down the middle.
Northwestern claims the 5A Division II championship. It's the Trojans with a 6th title all time. And they storm onto the field with a perfect season in 2024.
I'm sure the kicker's somewhere under that pile. Probably the smallest kid on the team.
Matthew Fish getting the job done for Northwestern. And the Trojans, by a count of 34-31, have claimed the 5A Division II state championship. Boy, these two nightcaps, Coach, under the lights. Last night in the 4A title game, again tonight in the 5A Division II title game. Something you gave your life to, South Carolina football at its finest.
It was a great effort by both teams. I know Irmo is extremely disappointed now, but they have nothing to be ashamed about. They are champions in their own selves.
Well, as they said in the truck, everybody a fish dinner in this one. We called him the big fish on campus. He is certainly that. Matthew Fish still celebrating that kick that will live on when they're talking at District 3 Stadium for generations to come there in Rock Hill, South Carolina, because it has written the latest chapter in Northwestern's storied history. You know, they take down some of their great rivals along the way. They upend that Gaffney team they've battled with in the upstate over the years in shootout fashion at home there at District 3 to punch their ticket. They work their way here against one of the premier players in the state who has a phenomenal night. And Northwestern takes that 13-0 record for a spin. You can make it 14-0, a perfect season. And Finley Polk, who was perfect for the first half, his first 12 tosses, ends the night 33 for 39 for 427 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he engineers the fourth quarter drive that ends in the Matthew Fish kick to claim the title.
He acts like he's been there before. He did it when I watched him in practice, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Great poise for a young man. I think Gardner Webb's getting a great player.
Yeah, what a night for Northwestern. Well, if he plays this well on other fields that belong to Bulldogs, he's going to be fine there in Boiling Springs, North Carolina, with the running Bulldogs of Gardner Webb. And Northwestern shaking hands with Irmo. Valiant effort for Irmo. Tremendous season. You know, their 2 losses to Dutch Fork and now Northwestern, that's a great year. Had an outstanding talent who proved that he was everything that you expected him to be. In Brand at the quarterback position, it's a lifetime memory for the Brand family. And guys like Murph and Miller and beyond were what you would have hoped. They played valiantly for a state title.
And I know Irmo will be heartbroken, but they lost to 2 state champions. You know, it's hard to say, well, we might be the 3rd best team in the state, but we weren't a state champion. They wish they could have taken that little extra step, but great effort by both teams.
All right, Coach is standing by. Jack, take it away.
Coach Wolfe, the purple and gold traveled well, a state champion yet again. Congratulations. Thoughts after another massive title?
Well, we just stayed true to ourselves. You know, we were going to keep throwing the ball down the field. Finley did a great job.
That kick at the end, we've done it a million times. I kept telling them, never a doubt, and defense came up with a big stop when we needed to. Offense moved the ball. I can't say enough about the receiving core and the offensive line protecting Finley the whole night. And defense, I thought defense played a heck of a game, man. I thought they really did. So it was a team win, and we're happy for it.
Coach, so much pride in this community. What does this mean to Yorktown to walk away with the W tonight?
Well, I hate to say it, but state championships are like a Tuesday afternoon in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So, it won't be long before those people in the stands up there will be asking, what about the next year? So Northwestern's never won 2 in a row. So I'll enjoy this for about a week. And instead of 24 hours, we'll enjoy this for about a week. And then I'll be working on 25 in about a week. So be ready for that, because that's going to be a damn movie.
Back to back. You heard it, a movie and a movie here tonight. Coach Wofford, really appreciate your time, sir. Send it back up to you guys downstairs. It's a movie. I guess everybody wants to be involved, but Coach Wofford, so thankful for his time. You guys absolutely crushed it. Cinematic to end in this manner. What an absolute weekend here at Oliver C. Dawson Stadium.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Coach, that last Tuesday afternoon was right around a decade ago, 2015. So for him to bring this team back to glory, this is a team that experienced the championships in the 80s, in the 90s, and then 2010, 2013, 2015. They now have one in the 2020s to go with it. And you heard from Coach Wofford, he expects this to be the first of many. 86 from 27 yards out. They'll be talking about this 27-yard field goal from Matthew Fish at District 3 Stadium and beyond. 34-31, the final tally. Northwestern claims a 5A crown.
Healthy on the outside doesn't mean much if vaping has weakened you from the inside, because the chemicals in vapes don't just leave you short of breath. They damage your lungs on a cellular level, leaving even the fittest among us weak and vulnerable to viruses. So what starts as a vapor's cough can easily turn into pneumonia or something worse. Is vaping sabotaging you? Get the facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
Thank you so much
for putting your faith in us.
We are here because of you.
It really means a lot that you've trusted us over the years.
And we'll be here for you.
I've got to meet good, hardworking people that have become my clients, my friends.
Thank you to everyone that's let us help them and their families.
Thank you, Spartanburg. Thank you, Columbia.
Thank you,
Charlotte.
Thank
you, Rock Hill.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 12 million participants in America who take part in high school sports or activities.
Going to college for esports feels amazing. Growing up, it's something I never thought would happen. My family never thought it would happen. And then within 2.5 years, here I am.
He's actually a madman whenever it comes to playing on the sticks. He's going to be the first one that pursues this into an academic career.
Me getting an esports scholarship could show other students that it's possible for them too, as long as they put their mind to it and put some effort into it.
Another thrilling finish at the South Carolina State Championships. What a weekend of champions. The latest champion crown, the Northwestern Trojans, 34-31. Coach, they got to get to work adding a number to this. One more state championship to celebrate there for the folks from Rock Hill.
It was an exciting game. Both teams were well coached. They played extremely hard. Both, as I said earlier, both are champions. Just happens to be Northwestern. They're the state champion.
Well, a championship performance, to say the least, for the Northwestern Trojans, particularly when you dial in on some of the individuals who made their mark in this contest. And nobody more so than Finley Polk and what he was able to put together as the field general for this squad. We take a look at our Stanley Law Group player of the game. No mystery here. 427 yards. He connected on his first 12 passes perfectly. And when you look at the overall numbers, That's half a season for some people. It's a state championship game for Findlay Polk.
For Abbeville, that might be a full season, as few a time as they threw it this year, but they're state champions as well.
Yeah, what a night for Findlay Polk. He was as advertised and then some as our Stanley Law Group player of the game. Well, you probably know where we're going defensively as well. Night moment after night moment tonight as the bath is now assessed to Paige Wofford, the Northwestern coach. We called the name of Will Massey. He's one of the reasons for that Gatorade bath. At 9 tackles, one of them for losses, matching his jersey number. He was everywhere, and he's our Founders Federal Credit Union Defensive Player of the Game.
Excellent player. And again, sometimes when you have an offense that scores so much, the defense gets kind of lost. But they certainly stepped up tonight and helped them win the state championship.
Yeah, they limited Aaron Brand Jr. earlier. This offense, all the weapons on it. Murph, and he connected a bit. He came to life a little more in the second half. But that front for Northwestern and Will Massey in that linebacking core really getting the job done defensively for the Trojans. Well, there's also no question what the play of the game is. It came from 27 yards out. 86 kicked it right up and through, no doubt about it, for a Northwestern state championship. Matthew Fish giving us our play of the game and giving Northwestern its 6th state championship all time. That is our play of the game. And nothing like high school kids celebrating the crowning moment. That's our Mark Brown Law Firm play of the game. And Coach, when you think about all the work that goes into it, from preseason workouts, a lifetime of preparation, the payoff, nothing sweeter.
It is. And both teams will remember this the rest of their lives. The winners, of course, have fun enjoying the moments as in victory. Those who've lost, said, if I'd have made one more play, I could have helped my team. I can remember plays I could have made my last game in high school, but it wasn't for a state championship, but I felt like I could have done better. But both teams played with great courage and great effort, and the coaches couldn't ask for anything more.
And they have the ability to say what few can, and that is they played on a state championship weekend in the Palmetto State, and that's a dream come true.
Exactly.
Well, it's been a pleasure to walk alongside of you. Thanks for such a nice job. Your final thoughts on what we witnessed this weekend?
Well, I think you couldn't hardly wrap up the high school football season any better with the excitement of this game. 2 excellent teams, well coached, well disciplined. There were some penalties and some turnovers and things in the first half, but the corrections were made at halftime, and I think it was almost a flawless game in the second half. There were a few mistakes along the way, but I think both coaches can be proud of their program and all their students at their school that here supporting them tonight.
And we're proud of all the champions this weekend. He's Eddie Muldrow. Nice to have you alongside as always. Very well done. For our entire crew, everybody who occupied this booth, those working hard for you in the truck, up on top of the roof, down on the field, making sure you can see these live pictures of the state championship. You wouldn't believe how many people and how hard they work across the course of more than 3 days to make sure you can see these championship games. Thanks on behalf of our entire crew, because we do it for you. This sport in South Carolina particularly has always been about the fans. You are our heartbeat and our passion. We hope you've enjoyed these broadcasts. Northwestern, the latest champion to be crowned in thrilling fashion here in South Carolina. And we say thank you for joining us, and we say thank you to our sponsors. They also making it possible for you to see these games. A&I Fire and Water Restoration, Coastal Wound Care, Will Lou Gray Opportunity School, Stewart Law Offices, Rushes, Doctors Implants, Low Country Crawl Spaces, Palmetto Pride, Mark Brown Law Firm, Founders Federal Credit Union, Jim Hudson Automotive, the Dairy Alliance, South Carolina Department of Public Health, and Ingalls Markets. Congratulations are in order. Clinton, Abbeville, Dutch Fork, South Florence. Think about what has happened with Oceanside and Northwestern today. Those are your finals. These are your champions. We leave you, South Carolina, with the sights and sounds of the 2024 Weekend of Champions. Congratulations to all who triumphed, and thanks to all who made it special. A lifetime moment, one of the many from the Palmetto State. Good night, and congrats to those who reign supreme in the Palmetto State.
plan B, just a path I'm taking. Breaking on through on the road I'm making. I knew one day I'd get my shot. So here I am to give it all I got. This is the big time, ready, set, go. Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, cause this is the big time. This is the big time. Ever since my boots first hit these streets, had to scratch and claw, made me hard to beat. They were real early mornings and late nights. Had to put in the time just to get it right. Now it's time to make my stand. Gonna show the whole world just who I am. This is the big time, ready, set, go. Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, cause this is the big time. This is the big time. Ever since my boots first hit these streets, had to scratch and claw, made me hard to beat. They were real early mornings and late nights. Had to put in the time just to get it right. Now it's time to make my stand. Gonna show the whole world just who I am. This is the big time, ready, set, go. Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, cause this is the big time. This is the big time. This is the big time, ready, set, go. Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, cause this is the big time. This is the big time, ready, set, go. Work so hard just to make this show. Under the lights, it's time to shine. Get your game face on, cause this is the big time. This is the big time.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!